Hey everybody, and welcome to the LG TEC Invitational Valorant tournament. And we're here for the lower bracket semi-finals. I'm extremely excited because all the teams here today they're going to be fighting for not just their line, but their chance to get to touch a prize pool, get a piece of it. Now I'm CA and I'm joined by Aggressive today on the desk. And Aggressive, are you as excited as I am?
I'm really excited for this matchup. And let's go into the map video screen as we talk about what exactly is going to be coming on through. It is going to be Reckoning versus XTZ. And this matchup, see, I do believe is going to be one for the books because XTZ, they had a bit of a rocky run going up against Godel before, and now coming down into the lower brackets, they're fighting for their revenge story. And so is Reckoning at the same time.
Yeah, and like I feel like at this point, it's really gonna come down to which team able to adapt. Now, I do remember from both of their past matches that Reckoning stuck to the Omen pick, whereas XTZ in a couple of their final matches they were going towards that Brimstone pick, and it came out in split. So I want to see going into Ascent and Haven, which team is able to bring out the Brimstone, maybe even a Sky, though I highly doubt that, and see where they're able to find the adaptation. Now, Ayan, he's gonna join the debate club and just give me a small sneak peek. But I get it, that's never gonna happen. For XCZ, a very standard composition. Harsh on that Reina, Sai on that Jet. What I do like is that Harsh is not picking up the race, which means they do have some sort of a flash. And for the side of Reckoning, it's just gonna be that Jet race standard composition.
Debate Club Part 2 is where the sky is going to be coming down from the side of Trist. You guys can see it, but I can see it. CA has that face being like, why you do this to me? What did I ever do to deserve this? But at the same time, we have to consider the picks are coming out from the picks that are coming out from both sides. First of all, they're notorious. Everyone's joining the debate club. The bottom two going in for the Viper debates, the top two going in for the Sky debates. But as I was stating before, like the concept of having a flash versus not having a flash is going to be coming into play for these matchups. And I really do see that XTZ they have that one up advantage going to, as they do have that flash in their arsenal. Mainly because Ascent is one of those maps I do believe where the flash adds a little bit more flavor, adds a little bit more of the ease of executes whenever you're using it. While from the side of Reckoning, we see that raise, we see the jet, and they have a very explosive entrance whenever they want to execute down into a site. But how much will this explosive entrance help? It's up to the players and how they execute down into a site.
Yeah, really, it really does come down to pure execution, where you're able to find the pockets of control. Because as you said, that Reina, it just gives you a little bit extra flexibility on where you want to approach. But instantly on the cameras, we see Ayan and Rio, they're fired up. They've got their drinks ready to go. And for XCZ, it's going to be Rexy, Harsh, and Sami. Now, Sami, he looks. I think the camera position we're seeing from him is a little different, perhaps even a new monitor. So maybe we see a different Sami come out today. But for now, it's going to be us going into the map, XCZ on the attacking side and Reckoning on the defense. And this is a really cool half to start it off for me because I do think that in terms of execution, it becomes a little easier for the race to be on the defensive than the attacking side because you get so much utility to prevent the attack, especially when you see that near coming through. While you can't really shoot because of the blindness, you can easily throw out a grenade or boombot, try to delay that push as much as possible, try to trade out those abilities on that basis, and stay strong on the defense. So we'll have to see if Reckoning can stay strong in the defense, or if XCZ are able to just use Hush, because he hasn't been on top form since Zeka left, to really just explode all over map 1.
Now the real deal is about to start because on the side of the defense, as you stated before, Razor he has a lot more room to play with, and we know him to be the Jigglypuff on this map because of his plays that he brought out to jiggle left, jiggle right, and then get as many kills as possible that he can. Razor is one of those players I stated this before as well. Have has the most beautiful movement out of a lot of players that I've seen. He has raw aim, also he has really beautiful movement, and I'm looking to see this come to fruition in this map as well. But from both sides, this is exactly the same composition, other than having the flash available. And I do believe that XTT, knowing that they were on the side of the attack, wanted to go in for this Reina pick to allow them to have that flexibility to get a lot more of the rounds on attack in comparison to the side of the defense, where Reckoning they have the stronger picks being that raised. But let's see what exactly happens. We can talk a lot about this, but on this pistol round, it seems as though coming out from the side of XCZ, they're playing it really slow and they're playing it on other side of the maps entirely.
This is not exactly characteristic of XTZ because whenever I think of XTZ and attack, it's basically all guns blazing, at least in the start. Only towards the middle they start to slow down. But you can see the cautious approach very much representing of the fact that, hey, this is the lower bracket semifinals. The double elimination cushion is gone. So both the teams are going to be a little more cautious when it comes to their approach. But now, when the time is to go, XTZ go in hard. It's Sai winning that duel against Florida, able to pick up first blood and allow Hush to properly infiltrate the site, take control of that Raptors area. Now with this pressure, you can see it's going to be XTZ moving into the site, whip with the plant, and Sami with another kill towards mid. XTZ with control across the entire map. They're refusing any time for the side of Reckoning to retake.
Beautiful placement of the turret as well, coming out from the side of Wim to chip away at the health of the defenders. They don't really have a lot to work with because 5 angry members are gonna be ready, and it's gonna be Sami with a double kill. Sorry, the triple kill coming out. One on the Razor, one on the Tristan side. Getting that headshot down onto Ayan and the body shot to boot to finish him off. A beautiful round indeed coming out from the side of the attackers. XTZ with their slow execute were able to catch the entirety of Reckoning off guard because they were not ready for this. Normally when you think of XTZ, as you stated before, they love to go in for those rushes. And in the entirety of Reckoning, they were set up for it. But with that slow execute, they seemingly seemed very confused because Sai, him using all of that bait, getting that first initial pickoff onto Clouda, made sure that they had no smoke to block off any of the sidelines, giving her that chance to go down into the side and hold it all down. And when Reckoning went in for the clear down on mid, Sami had a beautiful position straight under the side of short, so he can go in for the peak, get the shots, and no one could contest him. Well played coming out from all of the attackers. But Sami, this time around, he's going in for the raid boss strategy. He has no teleports, he has a paranoia, and he has 2 smokes. Let's see what he can do with it, because this Vandal is, I don't know how I feel about this here.
I like it. He's got the full shields through, and with the paranoia, especially now it's a 400 cost, just chooses not to go for any sharded steps, knowing that he doesn't necessarily need it because he wants to maintain the battle as long range as possible. Use the Vandal to fruition. It's only Sai with the save. Harsh as well, both of them carrying these ghosts, but they're able to already pick up the kills. And while Clouda gets one trade, Sami now with the plot and Rexy with the final kill. A basically flawless round in terms of eco for the side of XTZ because the only person that goes down, Harsh, he didn't really invest in any guns, meaning Harsh and Sai will be able to fully get a buy in this round. Sai is going to bring out the operator. So now XTZ, they're really going to start pushing heavily on all fronts. And I think just carry forward more of that same approach because what I think XTZ is starting to realize is that for the side of Reckoning, right? They have the Killjoy and the Raze that are two of their strongest agents on defense, and those agents they ideally want you to go into them. XTZ are like, we're happy to take those 1v1 duels because we have those flashes. But Ayan, he has something to say about it. A really aggressive dry peek towards A main wins the duel though because Harsh chooses to take a dry swing himself. No flash coming out for Harsh, meaning Harsh goes down to first blood and Reckoning with the advantage in their buy round.
Already 1 man down for the side of Reckoning. They're gonna be pretty happy because this was the flash going down, and Reina, she was not really able to use any of her utility, and this is where the real problem is about to start. How do you execute down onto a side? You need to try and find a pick if you're on the side of XTZ. If you don't find that pick, you have absolutely no way of entering down onto a sideline, and you're gonna be facing the problems that come with it because it seems as though Reckoning, they're not giving any information away, and XTZ, they're playing so slow. They're playing the time game, but now they're shifting down towards this B side where all of the Killjoy setups are already ready. Wim is going to be placing down that turret to see if he can get any form of information, but at this point, with the turret spotting him out, and with the Molotovs coming out as well, they're wasting so much time, and with only 30 seconds left on the clock, they need to start this execution, but 2 members are down on the inside of sight, and Wim, he's not going to be ready for it. Chris gets that first blood. Sami gets mowed down by 3 members on the triple peak, leaving Rexy and Sai to do the damage that they need. But with 3 members already coming on in, Sai, he's gonna be able to get one, but he's gonna get naded on. So much damage being done by that one nade. Razor, beautiful nade coming out from him to stop the plan. They cannot go in for the spike just yet, but they won this operator. You can feel the hunger in the players and Sai. He gets an incredible flick shot on the Clouda to take him out, but Iron's gonna be there to go in for that trade. They get the operator for themselves, and then they're gonna be happy perfectly for it because they got the operator out of the hands of side, forcing a lot of economic damage onto XTZ. And Ion, he now has an operator for himself, a free operator, mind you, that he didn't need to pay for.
Yeah, Ayan depth him a lot, go for more of those peaks that netted him the first blood to start off this entire round, right? But Sai with the heroics pulling off the 3K in extremely dire circumstances, almost getting to save his operator. Definitely going to be a player to look out for because whenever we see Sai on form, he really does start to become the X factor that can push his team through. So for XTZ, it's going to be Sai now with the play storm. The rest of XTZ going to be forced to invest all of their economy, get the full buys in, and this is going to be the last round they can afford to do so. So they're going to have to make it work really well. Sai as the entry fagger, he's going to dash and updraft his way in, get control of that Raptors. The rest of his team, though, stopped in their tracks by the Killjoy utility. So Rexy going to use his own ultimate to facilitate his team's entrance. Now all of XTZ, they've taken control of Site A, and a much more characteristic, just fast execute from XTZ. Able to get the side control. Now we'll look for their force plants as they look to prevent the retake. But Sai, he'll get spotted out by the boombot. He has to step back, and step back he will. Now look at Rexy's position. He's going for the complete wraparound, and this could be huge if he doesn't get taken down.
This could be the biggest play they needed to make, but with a lot of information being given away and a beautiful play coming out from the side of Razor, he gets a headshot down onto him, Cloud gets one on the sidelines. Ion gets one for himself as well. It's gonna be Sai with a sprayed out 5. He gets 2, Rexy gets 1 as well, leaving him to try and find what he can, but Sai! Oh my god, that spray was absolutely incredible! Beautiful spray control and a clutch coming out from Sai! XTZ, they had no business winning out that round, but Sai, with his heroics once again, he's coming out on top in all of these engagements.
We need to see that again, so we get to replay thankfully for it. Razor, Clouder, and Ion do really well, but Sai, one headshot really good, knows that he's running out of bullets, so has to pull out his Blade Storm, misses his Blade Storm right click, so has to pull back his gun, and then spray transfer. It wasn't even a perfect lineup. He gets that one kill, just instantly transfers to the next immediately, and this is what I meant. When Sai is on form, he is just absolutely nutty. What a god. Clutches out that round.
8
and now you
bullets,
can
by
see.
the way. In that
Yeah,
Vandal.
exactly.
Yeah, 8 bullets left in that Vandal. Oh my god, that was too close for comfort.
Exactly, right? That's what I was saying. Like, he knows he's running out of bullets, pulls out his Blade Storm, and misses his Blade Storm, so you're like, oh my god, this is done and dusted. But he's like, nah, I don't need too many bullets because I'm going to land every single one of them. Picks up the double and secures this 2-round lead for XTZ Esports. Pushes Reckoning onto an eco, gets his operator back for himself. Sai on 5.
I honestly wrote him off in that scenario
Yep.
because I saw the 8 bullets and I was like, there's no way he's gonna be able to kill 2 of them at the same time if they don't line up for him. That wasn't even a lineup, and Sai, he knew how many bullets he had. He got the shots off on the body of the Killjoy. It looked like his leg, but it actually was body shots. Got that kill onto Trist and immediately with the sprayer of his skills onto Ion. Incredible usage of mechanics to come out on that round. This is going to be forcing Reckoning down into an eco round. I do believe, yes, it is an eco round with the knives coming out for the side of Ion to see if he can do a little bit of damage. And it's going to be Wimp with the beautiful new Battle Pass Bulldog in his hands. See, like, let's see the showcase of the skin in action by him getting a couple of kills. But with the turret going down from the side of B main, some information has been given away. But players are gonna be in Hirsch. He's gonna be able to get that first kill down on the Clouda, who's not checking his side of wide that carefully. But who expects Hirsch to play that aggressively other than Hirsch himself? Hirsch, his first contact is gonna be Whip coming on in very slowly. Sorry, not Whip. Triss coming on in very slowly. He does have the shorty in hand, and he's gonna be able to get that kill off on the Urge. Wimp goes in for the trade, finds his own clone, and it's gonna be leaving the defense down in a 1 versus 4 situation with Sight, getting that kill on the Razor. And I would say more or less this eco round was a success. They got 1 kill.
For Reckoning, I think this is just like the standard eco round. They just want to get through it as fast as possible, get to that next round. I think get Ion on that operator perhaps ASAP, because you want Ion to be able to contest. Or if you're not pushing him on the operator, if you are sticking to those Phantoms and Vandals, then I want to see a bit more aggression come out from this side. of Reckoning, because what is really important at this moment is the amount of momentum that XTZ has. I think we saw in the face cams too, right? After that side round, Rexy was just like not able to sit in his chair, his hands above his head, because they were all just literally losing their calm. They were like, oh my god, what did Captain just do? Because that was absolutely nutty. And that level of momentum for the entire team is so important. So reckoning they need to try and find a way to steal it back in their favor, because otherwise a team like XTZ, they'll just start dominating on every single front. And you can see, reckoning they're trying to do that. Ayan with his classic A main aggressiveness backed up by Razor. This dynamic duo was very key in their previous matches. It's gonna be them that looks to make a difference. But with the lockdown going down for XCZ towards that B side, it's gonna be that B side commit. They haven't gone just yet, but with the lockdown completing, they need to go now. The Omen ultimate pulled out for Clouda just to get some information, but XCZ only one
Oh,
person has
what?
found their way in. This might be disaster for XCZ.
One thing I don't understand is how did Clouda get detained? When he was in his ultimate form.
Yeah.
How did he get detained in his ultimate form and he's able to get out as well? One of the weirder factors I would say, but still, this is going to be another a retake scenario coming out for the side of Esports. And this retake is going to be very difficult, especially with Sai just spamming away with that operator down near B main. Some information has been given away with the recon bull giving some of his own. It's going to be Sami with the first kill. Rio onto Rio. Iron answers back onto her to take him out with the own defensive Killjoy out. Killjoy out coming out as well from the side of Reckoning Esports. The damage is going to be done, but it's going to be Razor timing it onto Whip. Iron gets one on the side, and it's going to be Sami going in for the teleport play again. Maybe he's going to be able to get out, and yes, he is. He does get detained in that scenario. You're not able to go in for that play, and you can see that Sami, he's not happy about it whatsoever. And that was a very hectic round, and a lot of things to break down, CA, in that one particular round itself.
Yeah, a lot of utility use as well. What I did not like for XCZ was how much time they ended up waiting for their team to get from A to B while they went for the lockdown. I think if you are going for that lockdown push, you need to do it as soon as the lockdown goes through, especially when you have that Reyna, you're able to clear out the CTM market angle, because that's the only angles you get through the lockdown. The fact that they spent so much time allowed a lot of information to be going over to the side of Reckoning, allows Reckoning to be instantly ready for the retake, bring out their own lockdown and secure the round. If you are spending that much time there, what I would have liked to see is just they bait out that site using the Killjoy ultimate and it says switch over to A. But XCZ, I think a bit of indecisiveness does end up hurting them, and Reckoning able to pull it back, get their own buy round. And now you can see XCZ, they will be able to afford the full buys because they did win back-to-back rounds before this. But this round is going to be a very heavy investment round for them, since Sai is going to invest into his op once again. We'll have to see if they can make it count. A different approach for them, this time looking for mid control with the duelist going for that A main aggressively.
They're going to be throwing out the shock darts, and once again, this is a very slow take coming out from all the members of XTZ. They're not really forcing down into any of the sides. They're playing it slow. They're playing it systematically. But if they execute down onto this A side, it's going to be completely empty because 3 members are stacking down inside of A short. This is going to be a detrimental factor because Cloud9, he's the only one watching down near the A main side, and Razor, he has a very sneaky flag, and this one flag could just end the entire careers of XTZ if he can pull this off. And there is nothing in the backlines. Both Razor and Ion are on this flag, and Rexy is going to be going in for the fight. Rexy is going to be coming on the top in that engagement. He gets that first kill down on the Razor. He's going in for the second one. He goes in for the Jiggles, but Ion, he's going to be the one to come out on top in that engagement. Even with the spike going down 4 versus 4 situation, he's going to be going out to the retake. It's going to be Sai with the operator sitting down near Wines. If Sai is able to get this kill, he's going to make the defensive side retake a lot more harder. But just like I said, it's going to be Rio and Tris going straight on it, coming out from the side of Garden. Will gets one on the Rio, but this may just not be enough. Sai, he's probably gonna pull up the heroics once again down in this 1 versus 2 situation. He gets a shot. He needs to try going for the defuse. He tries to go in for the knife, but it wasn't enough. With the halfway defuse coming out from the side of Tris, the timing, the peaks, all of that came down perfectly. Here we can see coming out from the side of Reckoning, all of them are going in for their drinks. That round was super hectic, and CA, all of these rounds are coming down to the wire. Like, literally, both of these teams are at each other's necks.
And this is just the first series of the day, the first map of it too. So I'm just really excited for how this entire day is gonna
Placing
go.
sentry.
Because damn, with all of our teams on
Placing
such
swarm
top
grenade.
quality,
Placing
giving
swarm
us
grenade.
just the best action we could hope for, it just gets really exciting to spectate and cast it. So now you can see XTZ, they came really close to pulling back that round, but the way Regnic, especially that smoke setup for Clouder, the way they're able to retake and get the spike diffused through is them winning back-to-back rounds, and this is what I wanted from Reckoning previously, to steal the momentum back in their favor. And now that they've done that, they're in a much, much better position. Once again, it's Razor with the aggressive peek down at A-main. Picks up the first blood, and you can see the strategy very much present for Reckoning Esports. Last round, they went for that Garden Catwalk Crossfire setup. This time, once again, they're holding Garden, willing to allow them to go for an aggressive push down A main, then play for the retake which has worked for them really, really well. So Reckoning, they understand exactly what their strengths are and they're playing to those. It's going to be up to XTZ to try to find a weakness among it because Reckoning, they look on top.
Strategically, I do believe that Reckoning have that advantage, but at the same time, it seems as though the side of the attack, they have another plan entirely. Sami Clouder getting that first kill down on the side. Masami, he's gonna be able to answer back with his own. Wimp chimes in as well, shutting down the showstopper coming out from the side of Razor. Gonna be leaving us down to a 3 versus 3 retake scenario once again, ladies and gentlemen. And Rio, he's slowly clearing out the entirety of A short. Knows that no one's down near mid, and this is gonna be a call that everyone's probably down inside of the site or down near A main. But this is a smart plan. Everyone's gonna be stacking down in under heaven, and one is on the straight angle. Already it's gonna be Triz getting that kill on Rexy. Trent the deals perfectly. Triz, he's on fire. He gets that kill on Asami, leaving Whip down in this 1 versus 3 scenario. Whip, he needs to go in for the peak. He needs to try and find something, but Rio, he has his phone number, calls him up, knows exactly where he is, and lands a bullet straight through his skull. A beautiful round indeed coming out from the side of Reckoning Esports. Cheers and drinks all around for all of the players, as the momentum and the energy is going to be running high after winning a round like that.
Yeah, Trish getting that kill onto Rexy is so important because Rexy did have his shock darts ready. Could have delayed the diffuse and retake for so long, but goes for that tiny peek, expecting to get an advantageous sightline himself. Instead, gets the tables turned on him. It's Trish starting the retake for Reckoning, and this is what I was talking about. They're always willing to give up A-main control and the site in itself to play for those retakes because it is their strength. They instead go for the B-main aggressiveness and the catwalk control, and it pays off for them every single time. The operator on Ayan and B-main peak will mean they get first blood. Down goes Sai, and now Reckoning, not only have they taken the momentum back in their favor, but they're pushing forward with it really, really strong. And it's really important because we talked about how this race can be really strong on defense. So for Reckoning, coming out with the lead would be extremely important and an ideal scenario where they don't have to face up against too much pressure when they go into that second half. Already you can see XTZ, they have to try out too many things and they have to again go back to that A side. We'll see if they can execute as well as last time and make sure they get their post-plants in, because Reckoning, they're going to be comfortable on that region.
A lot of spam is going to be coming down on that A-short angle, trying to get one more kill. It's going to be Ion getting his second kill down on the Wimp, where that operator was lurking down near the A main side. He gets taken out immediately, and this is going to be a detrimental factor for them with everyone just knocking at death's door. It's going to be Sami trying to hold down the fort with his trusty sheriff in this angle. They know exactly where his Rexy gets that first initial kill up onto Ion, takes out the operator flame. But he's just only one man versus an army. Not much that he can do in that 1 versus 4 situation, with everyone hunting him down. But at the same time, I will say XTZ, they did really well on their eco round. They got 1 kill, they got the spike plan down, and they need to go back to the drawing board and come back even stronger, because at this point you cannot drop any more rounds moving forward. Now on a 5-4 scoreline, if the entirety of Reckoning can take it down to an 8-4, it's gonna be all over for the side of XTZ, mainly because now they have a lot of wiggle room. Even if they lose that pistol round, they can move on forward, go into their eco round, even go in for a force buy or move on forward onto that buy round. And if they are able to win that buy round, it's gonna be spelling doom for the entirety of XTZ.
Yeah, now as you said, that was the eco. So this round will be where HCC needs to fight back because, as you said, the snowball gonna come into effect if Reckoning able to pick up this round too. But once again, last time it was the B main aggressive peak, this time the A main aggressive peak, backed up by the paranoia. They've taken A lobby control entirely. They know that nobody is here as such, and Rexy is the only person who was there. He shows back. Now the lockdown coming down for either of the sides. Wimp with his attacking lockdown and Trish with his defensive. Meaning B side not for the taking at all. B side will not be the battleground. XTZ, they'll have to find their way in somewhere else. And that's exactly what they're gonna have to do. They're trying to bait out the utility as much as possible. But Sami feels like he's just walking into a sticky situation. He's gonna get taken down. And Sami exposing himself, meaning XTZ down a man.
Already a beautiful play actually coming up from the side of Triss. The way he actually was able to use all of his utility was incredible as well. He forced Sami down into an absolute corner. Sami had nowhere to move to, and then as soon as the lockdown ran out and the detain wore off itself, immediately Triss was able to get that initial frag off. It's gonna be trades coming out for both sides though, and Harsh, he's gonna be able to be the one to go in for a lot of these trades. Triss gets killed onto Rexy, and Harsh is not able to trade it in that situation. Jiggling around the box, jiggling left, jiggling right. It's gonna be Triss getting the first little pick of Triss with a triple kill. Beautiful movement positioning coming out from him with only 11 seconds left on the clock side. Needs to go in for the heroics. Maybe he's gonna be able to find it, but the classic right nerf are gonna be what shuts him down in this situation. Recently, the classic was a nerf. The right clicks are no longer accurate whenever you are constantly firing them. And that is what killed him in that scenario. And Triss, with beautiful spray control, was able to take him out, even though he was like at the tick of health, I do believe, at 15 HP in that scenario. The hold coming out from Triss and the plays from this man. Absolutely incredible, especially when your Sentinel player is feeling it this much. It's gonna be a dangerous fact. 15 kills for Triss on the scoreboard. CA, he's on fire on this killjoy.
Swarm grenade.
A nutty play from Trish just slams the door shut on XTZ's dreams and just holds down boat house. He's like, you shall not enter my territory. And if you enter, you pay with your life. So Trish on point there, really showing us why this killjoy is so strong and showing us how his own signature way of wielding it, right? Rarely do we see killjoys playing so defensively from boat house. Usually we see a city killjoy or even a market killjoy. Trish choosing to play that boat house area, choosing to allow them to funnel into his hands, knowing that he has the belief and confidence in himself to take those duels and win it. On point, 15 kills as you said, just absolutely nuts. And now XTZ, they're trying to switch it up, but Trish switches position up to XTZ. They're going for this heavy A side execute, but they're just getting more down. The alarm bot and the nano swap with this crossfire doing so much damage. Reckoning just decimating XTZ Esports.
The way Reckoning are playing these rounds just absolutely astounds me. They're playing it as a team. There is no solo play in them whatsoever. But this may just be a detrimental factor as well. It's going to be Hirschman trying to go in for the heroic plays, but every angle is going to be covered up. No matter what situation, it seems as though Reckoning, they're just 2 steps ahead of the entirety of XTZ, even when it comes to their gunfights. They're always ready for the double peaks. They're ready for the triple peaks. And even if one of the 2 of the members die on the triple peak, there's probably a guy sitting somewhere in Rafter, somewhere near Heaven to go in for a quadra peak. Everything is present, and Reckoning, they're able to get those one-up advantages against the side of XTZ with their reads and with their positioning. And if XTZ have any chance of moving forward down into their last round, they need to pull out something, because giving the entirety of Reckoning 8-4 scoreline, moving on to their attacking half, they have so much momentum to work with. And even if they lose that pistol round, it's not going to hurt them as much.
You can see XTZ. They're not going to have the full buys in this round. Instead, they're going to be forced onto the semi-buys, having lost round after round. And Sami, he's just trying to bait out B-side approach, causing a lot of rotation, while the rest of his team go for a heavy stack into A. The From the Shadows coming out, and a really nice strategy from XTZ Esports, using that From the Shadows to perfection, using the smokes to bait it out on the other side, while going for the complete rotate. But they've gone onto the A side where Reckoning is so comfortable on the retake, and already Reckoning with multiple kills is going to be down to Harsh and Rexy to pull it back. But with the lockdown going against them, they have nowhere to go. The only place they can go is into Wines, and Reckoning, they know that. Push closing in is Reckoning Esports, and Ayan with 1, and Ayan with changing his gun, picking up the second, an 8-4 lead, coming back from that insane side round to win so many rounds consecutively and establish such a dominating momentum streak going. Reckoning just on point. XTZ left with just wondering what is going on and how they can change it.
This just goes to show how far Reckoning have come. Like, we have seen them struggle a lot previously back when XTZ was under the Noble banner when they were facing off against them during the Challenger series, and now to see such a dominant performance coming out from the side of Reckoning just goes to show how much they've grown over time and how their strategy has grown as well. In this round itself, you can already see it. The lockdown came through, and Hirsch, he wanted to go in and break that lockdown. With his Empress present, he can go in and get 1 kill at the bare minimum, but Ayan, he was holding down that angle with an operator, and there is no way that Hirsch would have won that even if he tried to, because Ayan's operator is extremely dangerous, and unless Hirsch was goddamn sure of going into a free fire into that corner that someone was going to be holding it with an op, he couldn't have won it. And the entirety of Reckoning, knowing that the one option for them would be to come in and break that lockdown, they were able to hold down the angle and completely block off any sort of a push that would come out from the side of XTZ. Beautiful retake and beautiful positioning as well coming out from them once again. But now it's going to be the pistol round. This is the deciding round, I believe, for the side of XTZ. If they lose this, they're going to be forced down to a 9-4 and soon enough into a 10-4 if they can win if the side of Reckoning can win the anti-ego.
You can see the way XCZF set up, they're anticipating a B-side push, a double stack in that boathouse, and that's where all of Reckoning is starting to make their way in. This could be disaster for Reckoning Esports and the path for XCZ to find their comeback into this match. They have the magic number of 4 rounds, but it's not even about the scoreline anymore. It's about the mentality, right? Because Reckoning, they're going to be feeling so confident, and the best way to shut their confidence down is with this pistol round. In go Reckoning to that B-side. The alarm bot will reveal one person as Razor. He pushes in onto CT. The bullet's running out to win for the wrong time, meaning Razor with the first blood and Rio with another. It's going to be up to Sami on his lonesome in the boat to try and find something, which is the classic, the nerf classic, that too. He's not going to find anything. A site set up for Reckoning's disaster ends up being fruitful for Reckoning Esports and disaster for XTZ.
You have to notice how the entirety of Reckoning were playing this round. They were all running in together. I did not see one engagement. Oh my god, Sai! He just got grinded up. You can see the bullet holes down inside of that boathouse. So many guns were firing down at him. Like, this amazes me once again. Reckoning, they're all playing it together. Not a single person is peeking alone. In every single scenario, we see them peeking down together as a group. Every single time. There is nothing. There is not a single engagement that I've seen where it's not a double peek, where it's not a triple peek. They all rush down into a side together. And in that situation where Sami was facing off against Clouda and the Sova, there was absolutely nothing. There was backup with him as well. It's a 2 versus 1 situation. Even if Sami got that kill on the Cloud, the Sova was going to be present to go in for the refrag immediately. This is what hurt him the most. And Rexy, he really got caught out by the boot bot. And once again, it's going to be a fast push coming out from the sidelines. But finally, Wimp is able to get that 1 kill down on the Triss. And the Deco round is going to be going into their favor just a little bit. But at the same time, maybe not, because they're very low. Hirsch and Rexy, they're so low on their side. And this is going to be a detriment moving forward. It's going to be Rio down near Wines and everyone else inside of sight. One person is going to be underside at the bare minimum. A beautiful arrow coming out from the side of Rio. It's got out the members down inside of Heaven. It's going to be Razor with one. Razor with a third. And it's going to be Sami coming in from the Heaven side. Here is where the real damage is about to be done, ladies and gentlemen. If Rexy is able to get this kill, this is going to be a massive round coming out from the side of XTZ. But with only 20 HP to work with, what can he do? Not much, because Ion, he uses his utility perfectly and his movement and abilities as well. Goes in for the dash in towards the right side, dodges out the shots, goes in for the fast white swing, getting that kill down on Rexy to take him out. And XTZ, they're on the back foot because double digits are on the board on a 10-4 scoreline for the side of Reckoning.
Definitely. Now, with Ayan pushing through that round, making sure that his team clutches it. It will be the rounds in favor of Reckoning, but I do feel like XTZ, they're gonna receive a huge morale boost. That ego round went so well for them, taking down 4 weapons and not allowing that extra free round that we normally see after the anti-eco for Reckoning Esports. Meaning now XTZ, they'll be feeling it. They'll know that they can push through, that they definitely have the potential to come back, and this is where they're gonna look to make their stand. It's right here, right now, or it's the end for XTZ Esports. This is their buy round. Full investments for both the teams, basically. Only Ayan left with his Spectre. And now mid control willingly given up for XTZ Esports. They're choosing to play solely around the sites. The Killjoy set up entirely to disallow that A main site entry. And then they're setting up the crossfire down in that garden area. Using that Killjoy to enable this double man stack towards his garden. But all of Reckoning, instead, they've taken mid control, and now to market, they're going to go into B side. It's going to be up to Sami and Hurt to hold it down. Hurt is the first. Sami will get revealed, but he'll find a kill before he goes down. Meaning now XTZ with multiple kills in his favor is XTZ.
Oh my god! Razor, you absolute mad lad! This may just be possible, but the spike is on another territory entirely, Razor. He needs to go channel Signature Jigglypuff, try and get this kill, but he's not gonna be able to. This round was very close. Once again, XTZ, they were able to clutch out this round, but this was a detriment to their economy once again, and I do believe this is what's gonna be hurting them a little bit moving forward. Yeah, sorry, no, they're gonna be able to go in for their full buys nonetheless because of their teammates, but at the same time, they lost a lot of people getting that round, and they cannot afford to go in for a lot of these scrappy gunfights. Yes, they got the round, but on a 10-5 scoreline, you need to get as many advantages as possible moving forward. And that round was a well-played round coming out from the side of the defense, setting up the crossfires to get those one-up advantages against the entirety of Reckoning Esports in that situation. But already, just as I said, it's gonna be Hirsch getting 1 kill, but gets traded on immediately. 1 gun in favor of the side of the attackers moving forward.
And you can see both the teams having traded out 1 for 1 in that B main. It's gonna be Reckoning trying to go for the but Sai is expecting it. He's made his way onto Catbox. Finds a nasty flick for the second. Drops that spike cannon. Sai with the first will look for his four. Instead, will get taken down, but he is able to clean it up. And Sai with the heroics. These are the heroics that came through in round 1, but were instantly put to stop 2 in by Reckoning, able to get their lead. Now in the second half, you can see Sai once again. He is on form today, and he's going to look to use that form to help his team push through. Look at this, the positioning. As soon as one person comes out, sees that on the corner of his team, gets that flick, gets another, and dashes out to get his third. Just that's some nasty aimbot.
Like, that flick was so clean as well. I have to say, the most satisfying thing in the world to me is those dash plays that come out from these players. But Sai, he has such a beautiful position to work with this operator. The turret is not gonna be ready for this, and Sai can immediately go in for the dash down, but already Rio, he had that 6 sets. He was ready, knowing that Sai has already made the cross. Beautiful plays coming out from the side of Rio to know where Sai was playing, so no members are gonna be going down just yet, but Sai, who was able to retreat down into side. Now he's gonna be shifting on down towards the mid angle, but this mid angle is gonna be going on there, but this may even be a detrimental factor as Rio, he pops the Hunter's Fury, probably gonna be able to get 1 kill, forces Rex down into the open, and gets attacked down onto Whip, 22 HP to work with, not much that he can do. With Clouda getting the spike let down, Razor getting a kill onto him, Razor getting a turn on the side, the operator has gone down already, ladies and gentlemen, as Reckoning, the way that they're executing down onto these sides, they're just playing it a lot better, it seems. Now with the side hole coming on through, Sami clearing his angles, clearing the short side to see what he can find. But with everyone down inside of side and 2 players sitting down near A main, there's not really a lot of openings for them to work with. And with Rio getting that kill onto Hirsch, Sami, he needs to go in for a save at the bare minimum. Probably trying to save this operator down near heaven. If he's gonna be able to fight it is a real question. Paranoia does pop out, and Sami, he has to run. He needs to make a break for it into the other side of the planet pretty much. But it seems as though the side of Reckoning, they're not gonna be giving him anything. He goes in for the TP as well, but Razor hunts him down and takes him out. No operator for you today, Sami, he says as he gets taken out. And it's gonna be quite a heavy round coming up for the side of XTZ. Them winning this round, they're not gonna be happy about it whatsoever.
And Sami with his best efforts, nice try I would say, to try and save the operator. Even gets a kill on his way out. But Reckoning, I mean, they're just pumped. You can see Rio, like the attitude he's showing after every round, right? The fist bumps coming through, the fist pump with like just saying the team, let's go. We're on our way to getting this map won. Making sure that the entire team as pumped as he is, and that's showing in their gameplay. Ayan with the aggressive op, gets that first peak, gets the first blood, and now this will let Reckoning, all of them just get into the B side all together. Now for Reckoning Esports, Tris has 6 out of 7 ultimate points, so he can pick up the ultimate point or just get a kill, get his lockdown ready, and facilitate that B side push for them. That's exactly what is going to happen. Tris with that lockdown and Reckoning now looking for B side control.
With all of the members down near the B side already, standing the defense, they're gonna be 7 on straight through the smoke. They're able to get that one kill down on the Tris, but Razor with beautiful satchel work goes on top of the mid pillar. He's gonna be able to fight one, and he's looking for Sami. Sami's taking a good bit of damage. He gets tagged down to only 23 HP. Gets that kill down on the Razor, but down in this 1 versus 3 situation, what can he do? He gets tagged in his leg, and with Iron with the operator, he has his crosshairs trained with a flag coming out from Clouda as well. All of the sides were covered up, ladies and gentlemen, as Reckoning Esports. They're moving into match point on a 12-6 scoreline.
Now you can see for Reckoning Esports, like at this point, there really is like no way that you can force something that Reckoning doesn't want, right? Every time like Reckoning is able to find a pick, they're the ones initiating the pick. Every time Reckoning wants to take mid control, they're the ones being proactive, finding those trades in their advantage, and that really is what is ending up costing XTZ, I believe, because most of their plays are being made reactively, whereas Reckoning are being made proactively, and that proactive effort giving Reckoning one step ahead of XTZ Esports, now with a 6-round lead, a 6-round chance to close this map one out. But XTZ, they're not just gonna go down easily, they're gonna try to fight their way out, and it's Sami with the help of Rexy going for the aggressive B main control. They're able to find the pick and relay a lot of information for their team about the fact that, hey, there's nobody in B main, we don't hear any footsteps, that means they're all likely in A, and that's exactly where you can see Sai rotating.
Tris in that situation became a bit too trigger happy, and that is where he got punished. And this is what you need to do when you're down against the wall. But it's gonna be Razor getting that first initial pick down on the side, but he gets taken out immediately because of Wimp coming in for the fast peek from the side of Garden. And again, too much map control is also bad at the same time. Clouda goes in for the spray. He's not gonna be able to get that kill down on a Rexy, and this is where the pain is about to start, ladies and gentlemen. Down in this 2 versus 3 situation, who's gonna be able to go out on top? Rio, he does spot out the 3 players. They know exactly where he is in this situation. But Rio with only 8 bullets, he needs to go in for the reload, and this may just be the chance that they need. Iron goes in for the kill, and Rio down in this 1 versus 1 situation already. This is where the real fun is about to begin, ladies and gentlemen. Rio behind this generator angle. He needs to get this kill, but here it's gonna be Rexy as well. Rexy, he needs to try and find this. Goes in for the recon. Rio, he needs to go in for the dodge, and Rio with beautiful cross placement and movement. He gets out. Nasty headshot down on a Rexy, taking him out and taking the win for his team. Reckoning Esports, they take map number 1 with style.
Oh my god, that was naughty jiggles from Rio. As you said, the perfect crosshair placement, and you could see on those cams how much that win meant to them. Reckoning, they're so damn pumped. A small cheers coming as well. Meaning Reckoning Esports, they're fired up today. There was some amazing plays from the side of XTZ, but despite that, Reckoning's teamwork and their ability to constantly adapt to what XTZ is bringing to the table. Their ability to constantly punish XTZ is what got them this phenomenal win. It's Reckoning Esports 1, XTZ Esports 0, but it is the best of three. So we'll see if XTZ can come back. For now, we'll go to the LG Ultra Gear match highlights, really talk about what was the key difference here, at least in our opinions, for Reckoning Esports, and talk about where XTZ Esports can look to find their own edge in the next two maps. Now, Aggressive, I think the key difference was for me the rounds that I saw Reckoning winning were purely because of their creativity. It wasn't like the aim was definitely on point, but the ability to get themselves in positions where their aim can give them an extra edge is where Reckoning found discomfort, right? And for XTZ, the rounds they were clutching, it came down to purely aim. I didn't see as much strategy involved. I didn't see as much understanding of the opposite team's gameplay, and I feel like that's what ended up costing them. And this is where we wondered that like the whole idea of a duelist playing the IGL. Don't get me wrong, Sai was absolutely nutty today, but it does, like, you can see on the cams for Reckoning, Rio, he's playing that Sova. It's much easier for him to give the calls all throughout. It's much easier for him to be that vocal leader because he doesn't have this much pressure of being the entry fragger. And I do wonder if that's something that just ends up playing into the hands of teams like Reckoning Esports, where they have designated roles and it's much easier for them to enact out those roles.
I completely agree with you on that. The IGLing calls that came out for the side of Reckoning were just a little bit more stronger in a lot of these situations. They're going in for the triple peaks, going in for the quad peaks as well in a lot of scenarios. We have seen them just come out on top. They were always able to play together as a team. Even on the match highlights, you can see that Wimp in this situation just immediately dipped out. He went in for the wide swing back into cover, and Clouda came in for the swing from the side of Green Box. This level of team play and coordination was not really being seen coming out for the side of XTZ, and this is where the main pain of this matchup became to be. And I do hope that moving forward into the next match, at least at the bare minimum, we see a different XTZ and a different forms of strategy and creativity. Because if you're wanting to go for pure raw aim duels, I don't think you're going to be winning out against Reckoning.
Yeah, and that's really surprising for me to say, considering how good these XCZ players are. So we have to give props for Reckoning because they have improved substantially, and you can see their dedication and effort they put off before the match starts, and how it's translating in the game, giving them these edges. Pre-match preparation is one of the things I appreciate the most, and Reckoning very well deserved on the win. But I'm sure XCZ will be back with the bang. We saw moments of glory from them. Now it's just a question of translating those moments of glory into an entire map, and we'll see if they're able to pull it back in map 2. For now, this was map 1, and we'll see you back for map 2 real soon. And in the meantime, make sure you check out the links in the description below for some amazing discounts, and hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on, because this is the lower bracket semifinals. So there's much more, a lot of action to go, and a lot of fun for you to catch on. Make sure you're here when we're back really soon with the LG Ultra Gear TEC Invitational Valorant tournament. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear TEC Invitational Valorant Tournament. We're back. I'm CA, joined by Aggressive on the desk. We're here for map 2 of the XTZ Esports versus Reckoning lower bracket semifinals. Let's quickly go to the map meter screen and see what we have in place for our second map. And I want to ask you, Aggressive, and I want to quickly mention my prediction for this map before I ask you. I want to ask you what compositions you're expecting if you're going to see a Brimstone, because I'm expecting Vim to go onto the Sova and a triple duelist for XTZ. I think it's more less expectation and more just hope that they go to that triple duelist, because I think that's where they shine.
I do believe so as well. But at the same time, you want to play Haven without that Sentinel.
Yeah.
That's another one of those factors because Haven is a map that is prone to flanks. And when you have the triple duelist composition, I've stated this before as well. Triple duelist compositions are very, very one dimensional. You'll either rush down into a site, and if you want to go in for a rotation play, it's not always possible. That's the hard part about a triple duelist composition. It's very one dimensional. Normally your strats can be read, and with the CA bait strategies coming out from two players from the side of Reckoning, they're having some fun. But XTZ, they're going to be going in for their standard composition. And I don't know how much I like this Killjoy coming out from
Yep.
XTZ on the map of Haven.
As one of the biggest proponents of Killjoy and the guy who kept asking for it again and again, I will happily accept that I think Haven, one of the few maps where Cypher is much, much better in terms of execution because of his ability to just leave the trap fires in one area and protect the flank on attack or on defense, just be very casual with his gameplay. I'm not even going to look at the right side of the screen, reckoning. I get it. You debate me really hard and
Okay.
debate the entire audience as well. Reckoning, they're just having some fun. They're feeling it. So let's talk a little bit more about XCC's composition. See, it's as you said, I completely agree. The triple duelist composition, very one dimensional. I think that's why I wanted it for XCC Esports because their play in map one, it was all about those duels. So if you are going to commit heavily to the duel style of gameplay, might as well pick up that triple duelist, really enable players like Sami to come out on top of their form, because sticking to that Omen, not really helpful for you. It ends up being a question of, are you able to outsmart Reckoning Esports, and being down one map, it becomes a very difficult task. So now we'll have to see if Reckoning can continue their dominance in mind games or if XCZ have something new planned. Because in terms of composition, it's just the Phoenix versus Reyna and the Killjoy versus Cypher difference.
That's the main difference, but at the same time, I will say I give a bit more of an edge towards the Reckoning side
Yep.
composition, mainly because it's much more tested. This Killjoy composition is a lot more harder to execute in a lot of these scenarios, and you can see it in the players as well. It's easy; they're all just getting in their game phases. They're trying to understand what exactly they're gonna be doing moving forward in this matchup, and it seems as though coming up from the side of Reckoning, they already know what they need to do. This strategy, like this team composition that they came out with, being the Phoenix, the Cypher, with the normal usual picks and no Brimstone, I do believe. I thought that Cloudo was gonna be going in for that Brimstone in this situation, but it seems as though he's gonna be opting for the Omen instead. I do like the Omen pick, but come on, man, we just want to see some more Brimstone happening.
Yeah. I think Haven, particularly the teams, end up being a bit more comfortable with that Omen because of his ability to teleport between the maps. In that competitive scenario, there's much more room for flexibility with that Omen. But I definitely agree. I think Haven is one of the top maps for Brimstone because of the multitude of lineups ready for his Molly. But I guess teams, they just haven't gotten enough time to really get themselves comfortable with those lineups. So maybe in a few more days we'll start seeing those Brimstones pop up more. I know for sure we're going to see it today later on, but that's a topic for a different time. For now, for this matchup, I think it's as you said, the Cypher composition definitely much easier to execute because of the fact You just leave the trapper lying around. You can rotate on. The Killjoy, I feel like while it has more power, it needs perfect communication and perfect coordination, because without those, if you pick up your setup even once, if you leave that site open, then you leave yourselves prone to just complete exposure.
I completely agree with you on that. And especially on the attacking half as well. When you have that camera at your disposal, you just gain a lot of information. And Cypher, he can play very selfishly. While Killjoy, he needs to play a bit more with the team. And this is one of the main issues, I would say. Because with Cypher, you don't really make a lot of noise. But with Killjoy, whenever you're picking up your setup, you're making a lot of noise down on the attacking half. And here is where your lurk potential is going to be hurting. While with Cypher, you can be lurking on pretty much any side of the map while giving constant flows of information to your team. While with Killjoy, you need to stay near your setups. And if you go too far, you need to pick up that setup and make sure that your team is not getting flanked in a lot of these scenarios. It limits the Killjoy's movement, while Cypher, he can just pretty much do whatever he wants. And I'm really looking to see how this one Sentinel change-up is going to be affecting them. I'm not really looking towards the Reyna and the Phoenix difference, mainly because these two characters do what they do best when they are played by these top-notch players. But with the Phoenix, there is an ease of execution. Phoenix brings a different level of utility that Reyna does not. And if Hirsch is not able to give the impact that he is known to give, like to get at the bare minimum of 15 plus frags and get those opening kills, it's gonna be really difficult to justify this Reyna pick over the Phoenix.
Ooh, and a bloodbath in mid SI, and the Rio just go for that 1v1. Rio comes out on top and starts us off in this map 2 with the first name in the book for Reckoning Esports. They've taken the advantage, they're on the attack, and now they're going to look to utilize that pressure to shift it all the way towards A. But look at Sami's positioning here. He's waiting down in the sewers for someone to approach him. His positioning could be he would throw down the smoke though. The smoke will reveal where he is. The origin of the smoke, giving Reckoning the information to need. And even though Rexy takes down the one, the flash for Razor,
Last player
easy entry
standing.
for Reckoning. Hush with the trade, but it's Reckoning with the advantage. Now Reckoning with the plant.
This was such a
planted.
fast round, and especially in the pistol rounds, you normally expect this a little bit slower, but it seems as though the gas pedals have been stepped on immediately, and Reckoning they're running it all down. Every single sideline is going to be covered, and it's going to be a Wim trying to go in for the tabs, but with so many setups already in place, they know exactly where Wim is, down near the side of CT. It's gonna be Clouda playing mind games with Whip right now. He's going in for the jiggle, he's going in for the jumps on Whip! Oh my god, he nearly pulled out the heroics, and Clouda's like, alright, time to put a cork in this man. He just shuts him down immediately, and what a beautiful play coming out from Clouda in that situation. But Whip with the heroics, he could have just pulled it off. Look at the flicks on this man, look at the micro adjusts.
It was so close. Yeah, Whip. We've seen this before. I almost got a sense of deja vu from Whip just hitting headshot after headshot. Like, is he gonna pull off another insane clutch? Whip gets denied by Clouda, and it's Reckoning picking up the round. But this is where you get to see the potential of XTZ Esports. You get to see the potential of every single player. You see exactly why they're one of the top 5 teams in our region, and they've consistently finished in those mocks because of their just pure dominance in terms of mechanical prowess. So they're gonna try to use that to pull back. But Clouda, that was just purely seeing him for a microsecond and landing a perfect headshot. That too with just the ghost on point. Reckoning Esports once again with the first blood. Now I'm gonna look to use that pressure to rotate onto C, but this time XTZ direct. Oh.
I don't think they're ready that much, see, in that situation. Razor and Ion is just like, yep, we're going to be running on it. We're going to be mowing you down with our Spectres. But still, one kill in the favor for the side of the defense. I will not say it's going to be end of the world. Rio is going to be able to Rexy, or he's going to be able to get into position just a little bit. Trish shuts him down, and Razor from the side of CQ Long is going to be able to get that kill down onto Garage, taking out Wim. So I would say this was a very successful round coming out from the side of the defense as well. Getting that one gun at the bare minimum, not really a lot of investments. We can just say it is a throwaway round moving forward on a 0-2 scoreline. Here is where the round is going to be mattering. This is going to be a bonus round for the side of Reckoning moving forward, and it's gonna be the first buy round for the side of XTZ, and
Let's
they
go.
need to win this buy round because Reckoning, they're on high morale, and this one round is gonna be, I do believe, setting the pace for this entire match.
One gonna graded for Reckoning Esports. It's gonna be Rio carrying the Vandal. The rest of them, as you said, on this free round with the Spectres carried over to the next. But
Ooh.
Wimp with the spam through the smoke, expecting the Ceylon push, able to do a bunch of damage to one and pick up another kill. Rio taken down low and Clouder taken down, meaning now XTZ with the advantage, and Wimp given the responsibility
down.
to hold
Swarm
down
grenade
Seaside
out.
all by himself. He's using the alarm bot to cover garage and using his turret to cover C. But with the turret and the storm grenades going down, Wimp with just 2 HP, he's gonna need some backup.
Come on,
And I
let's
hope his
go.
team will be able to rotate to provide it to him. Because Reckoning, they have the running back and they're going for the seaside execute. They know everything is clear. I think XCZ making the executive decision to just play for the replay.
Hey,
Wimpy may have just pushed up a bit too early in that situation. May have gotten caught off guard, but it's gonna be Ion evening up the playing field once again. Ion with a double kill. And it's gonna be a good headshot coming out from Wimp. 2 HP and a dream coming out from him. He nearly gets killed by the shock dart, but he's gonna be able to survive. This 2 HP player is gonna be a thorn in the side of the entire attacking round. But Razor, he pops the flash. Then Triss is gonna be the one to kill him off. Rexy in this situation. Razor, insult to injury. He's gonna be able to find the headshot. He gets another headshot down on the Sami, but Sami, he's gonna be able to get that flick play onto Razor to take him out, and this round could have gone in the favor of the side of the defense, but Ion with the heroics, he was able to get 2 players down on the mid, one going in for the peak and one going in for the refrag. The refrag was not gonna be there, and the positional advantage from the side of Reckoning was just too strong because Razor, he had that one flash. So he knew for a fact that he could play from inside of garage. That allowed him to go in for the flash pick, allowing his team to come from CT and also come from come into a double peek from garage as well, allowing them to have all of the advantages in the world going in for that spike, going against that spike diffuse retake.
And Driss especially, that camera giving so much information to Ion to be able to get those kills. Reckoning on point with that coordination that we know is so important on Haven, right? Every single piece of information that you can provide your team gives you a significant edge. And even though Wimp looks absolutely on fire in this map, he's not able to do enough to help XTZ win a round, meaning Reckoning win the buy round that was invested by XTZ and just get a huge eco boost going into this next round. Their bank is overflowing with money and they're gonna look to push it all the way further. They're gonna try to get as much juice as they can out of the momentum streak that they've got going on. With dominant win in map 2, Reckoning looking for that same dominance in map 1, looking for a dominance in map 2. You see Ion, dry peaks all together. He wins them every single time. Ion gets the first blood and now it's XTZ left hanging. Not really sure where Reckoning is going.
30 seconds left.
Be having a hard time, but Sai, he's on a massive flag. Maybe he's gonna be able to get a kill with this shorty, but Shorty, it's just a bit too far away, and with the damage being done, Sami, he goes in for the tap, but he's not gonna be able to get more than one in this situation. Razor goes to turnaround, gets that kill, and it's gonna be Sai getting shots on his own and whip! He comes in massive and Sai from the sidelines as well, he comes in massive as well! They're gonna be able to win out this round. They took no chances going in for that knife. They didn't want to take anything against Wrist, and what a beautiful play. Sai with the shorty. I wrote him off. I thought he was dead in this scenario, but he gets 2 kills and went with a disgusting headshot of his own. They take away the round that they had no business winning, and Reckoning's momentum streak has finally been shut down.
Reckoning, they made the decision to commit onto this site despite the lockdown being there. I feel like they could have just turned and gone back onto the site. They would have been caught off surprise by the shorty inside, but that would have just likely ended up being a trade. With 3 members detained and Wimp with a nasty one-tap, Sai and Wimp team up to secure that thrifty for XTZ Esports. Pull that momentum back in their favor, get a thrifty round in a beautiful way to establish their eco in itself. Now you can see Sai, he's gonna pick up the operator, play that A-long angle, allow his co-duelist in Hush to push up aggressively, and Hush will catch out Trist here. And beautiful teamwork from these duelists, getting A main control entirely, giving the information to their team that hey, we don't see anyone towards A. That means they're likely towards mid or C. And that's exactly where
Oh, no.
XTZ has grouped up. The Hunter's Fury, meaning XTZ, they're starting to mow down Reckoning Esports. They have a huge advantage in this round.
There's a lot of advantages in their favor, but it's gonna be Ion going in a bit too deep in that scenario. Was not able to line up the daggers. It's gonna get taken out immediately by the hands of
Last
Sami.
player
And with
standing.
Clouda going in for the Tams, that win was way too quick in that scenario. He gets the first initial headshot. But Rio, he's answering back just a little bit, trying to do as much
30
economic damage
seconds
as
left.
possible. Not really a lot to work with, and if he's gonna be able to get one pick off, it's gonna be massive for him, Rio. I do believe he's gonna be opting for that save instead, slowly creeping his way forward down from the side of window. Not really a lot of time left on the clock. 15 seconds left. It's either he goes in for that save,
10
and yes,
seconds
he
left.
is get that little bit of extra credit on his bank account. And without a drone, though, I don't think he's going to be able to give any of his teammates a bye, because that drone is going to be super important moving forward into the following rounds.
You can see for XCZ, like at this point, like they've really just pulled back a lot of their morale, right? They're feeling once again confident in their place. They're able to find the duels that they want, and they're able to hold strong in their sightlines. Make sure that Reckoning, they instead have to play on a very dicey situation where they play into the hands of XCZ, and in such a map, like it really does come down to where you're able to find your advantages. So far, Reckoning, they were excelling in their teamwork, excelling in sort of spreading XTZ thin. But now I feel like they're playing into XTZ's hands, continuously going for these duels that you know you can't take. Sai with the operator, he's found two already. Now gonna position himself for that suicide line. But Reckoning Esports, they just keep going back. They're not sick of this punishment. They're going back for more again and again. And Wimp with his utility setup, this is disaster spelled out for Reckoning Esports.
It's gonna be a disastrous thing, and it's probably gonna be as well. Sai, he does miss a shot in that situation. Trist, he's trying to run away. Oh my god, Sai!
Unimportant.
That was nuts. That was
What?
just-
No. Oh my god, that was insane. Sai on this operator is an absolutely different beast entirely. He had no information, goes in for a random flick, lands a headshot with beautiful crosshair placement, taken out. Win with the final kill on the Clouda as well. Sai, he gets 3 before anything else. We need to watch this on the instant replay, because that deserves a backpan right there.
This is what I meant. Disaster entirely for Reckoning. They walk into the utility. Chris goes down and the wallbang shot for Sai finds Rio. Just triple kill for Sai, and the duo of the Killjoy and the Jet just deny that A site altogether. And this is what I find the most important thing. As soon as they realize that their setups have been used, they've got a lot of damage on the basis that they switch it up. They want to make sure that they are not exposed in terms of carrying the same setup over and over again, and that's going to be key. Now, Reckoning Esports, it is going to be another buy round for them, but this time with no shields and a couple of players with light shields, meaning they're really gambling on this round. We'll see if they're able to pull it off. The running back is ready, and that's what I expect to start off this entire push. But with Sami holding it down, he's gonna find one. He's gonna find two.
You're
And
dead.
Razor with the trade. Now with the running back pushing into site A, it's gonna be up to Rexy to hold it down. He's buying as much time as he can, but Rexy will find one. Rexy able to take down the clone as well. Rexy's a excellent Rexy. He denied A site and hold it.
He's holding it down, and this is what they need in XTZ. They have the momentum in their favor, and Sai, again, what is up with him through the flame wall in this situation? He takes out Razor, leaving Cloud on his lonesome to try and hold down the C side against 4 angry members. Jumping on down. Clouda, he gets that 1 kill, but gets sagged down, only 68 HP. They're holding down the sidelines. It's gonna be Hirsch, though. He gets the body shot off, allowing Rexy to go in for the final bullet. He's gonna be able to survive with only 32 HP and a dream. Cloud nearly pulling off the heroics in that situation, but gets shut down by the coordinated plays coming out from the side of XTZ. And it seems as though in this map of Haven, they're winning out on a lot of these gunfight duels, and this is what you want to see coming when you are an XTZ fan, ladies and gentlemen. So show the support to your team in this situation.
Point. I can imagine the comms for Reckoning Esports have to be somewhat along the lines of, hey, if he would have not hit that off shot if we had flashed him, or if we had done this one thing in our execute, definitely we would have got it. And what I'm gonna say to that is that it doesn't matter. As soon as you go for the A side rush once and it doesn't work, you have to switch up your strategy, because you cannot allow a team like XTZ Esports to understand your game style and your gameplay, because when they start building up that momentum, it's going to become really unstoppable. Now, Reckoning Esports, this is their eco, and you can see already they've looked around mid, they're going for the eco rush, but the alarm bot ready, and the swarm grenade as well, meaning Raze is going to be taken down to half health, and Harsh able to go for the heal find one, has it dismissed or the heal ready if he wants to, going to pull out the heal, he's stuck at 5 HP, but he's shooting through, creating a lot of pressure, allowing his team to find the mid battles, win the mid battles. XTZ for that flawless.
A beautiful flawless round coming out from the side of XTZ.
Flawless.
The way that they were able to hold down the fort was absolutely incredible. But I have to say, coming out from the side of Reckoning, they had a very successful ego round, because they got the spike plant down even through all the odds that they were facing. All of their members were dropping like flies, but with that spike defuse going down, they have that extra money in the bank to work with moving forward into the following rounds. But XTZ now, they have the momentum in their favor, and Reckoning, they dropped the ball in that scenario, because XTZ, whenever you give them momentum, it's just all over for your side, because they are a team that are just going to be snowballing it over and over and over again. And Reckoning, they need to shut it down as of right now if they have any chance moving forward, because XTZ, they're on their stronger side, yes, but at the same time, if you can see Sai hitting shots like that constantly throughout this entire match, there's not much that the side of the attack can do.
Yeah, and that's where I really want to see a much more coordinated approach come out for Reckoning Esports. I want them to try and create those pockets of control that initially got them the lead in the first place. Try your best to use the flashes that are available from Razor to gain entry into the garage area, perhaps, or even like try to bait out that Killjoy utility as much as possible, then go for the full rotate, because keeping on trying to find the 1v1 duels really plays into XTZ's hands. We talked about this even in the match highlights, right? Where XTZ were really strong, where they were winning rounds is when they were winning the 1v1 duels. So as the opposition team, you have to deny those 1v1s as much as possible. Instead, try to make them 2v1s, go for the double piece, try to get the trades as much as possible. And in doing so, inherently take the game, take the initiative out of XTZ's hands and put it back in yours, because that's where Reckoning, they looked at their best.
I completely agree with you on that. Reckoning, they seemingly are trying to force down throats of XTZ in this situation. They're trying to brute force their way through, but on the map of Aben, that really does not work out. And Reckoning, they're trying to take a lot of these 1v1 duels. Yes, I do understand your momentum is riding high from the map of Ascent, but you should not be going in for those plays. XTZ are exploiting that, and they're able to win these because you're allowing them to get those 1v1 fights. And in the previous round as well, the previous buy round for the side of Reckoning, we saw Trist solo running down into that A side, getting caught off guard, and no one was following him. And this gap in communication is going to be the downfall if they're continuing this moving forward into their 9th round. And I'm really hoping to see that Reckoning are able to bounce back from this, because if not, if they're still just trying to force down without taking any form of map control on the map of Haven, it's just going to get even more difficult for them.
Now you can see all of them stacked towards this C side. It's only Trist left on the lurk. So I think they are going to go for an aggressive C-side push. They have the Hunter's Fury thing. They can get the plant through. The post plant would be a comfortable situation, but getting the plant through is a different ballgame altogether. They will get spotted out, and that means they have to commit. Razor, he's trying to entry frag with his flashes, but he's already tagged down to 10 HP. And now the Hunter's Fury coming out a little too early. Ryu able to find a couple kills with counter Hunter's Fury. On both sides, it's Win finding the kills, Clouder with the trade, both the sides of the bloodbath in C. It's XTZ coming out on top, and XTZ with a huge advantage in this round.
XTZ, they're gonna be happy about this. And beautiful positioning as well coming out from the side of Wim. Razor's not gonna be
Player
expecting
standing.
this. And he gets taken out as Wim does spawn out his gun barrel in this situation. It's gonna be Rio down in this 1-versus-2 situation. He's gonna be able to get that kill down on the side with a well-placed headshot, but Wimp, he's at very low HP and he's slowly making his way down towards this
30
A side.
seconds left.
But if he goes in for a running play, they're gonna be able to hear him, but he needs to run with only 25 seconds left on the clock. You at the bare minimum need about 20 seconds to move down towards this A side and also go in for a plant. Knives out, I do believe, as he wants to go in for an early, but it seems as though they didn't hear him in this situation. They don't know he's gonna be going down towards A, and he's gonna have a
10
very,
seconds left.
very easy time planting down this spike and getting into his own post-plant scenario. They're still checking down near
Spike
the C
planted.
side. And finally, they're gonna be making the rotation play down towards A. It seems as though Rio, he's gonna be challenging them in this scenario. Here's all of the footsteps. He knows exactly where they are. He gets that first kill. Rio with the recon. He knows exactly where Hirsch is. Gets a wallbang headshot onto him. Tags him down to very low HP, but he's gonna be low, a bit low himself. He's gonna go in for the wraparound play, but Hirsch, he knows exactly what's up. Gets the sixth sense in his mind. Goes in for the flick. Goes in for the spray. And he's gonna be able to take out Rio. A beautiful play coming out from the side of Hirsch to take that round away from the hands of Reckoning. And it's gonna be a 6-3 scoreline moving forward.
I mean, I think he played this part really well, especially getting to A itself. A huge feat for Rio. But this is where I have to wonder, do you have to go for this duel here? Harsh, though, really nasty flick, instantly turns around and able to take him down. But like, maybe if Rio had been able to buy a bit more time, maybe he would have been able to pull it off. Nevertheless, a really strong effort to even get to that position in the first place.
Placing swarm
But
grenade.
now XTZ with
out of my
another
way.
win. 6 rounds back to back. It's XTZ looking extremely strong and pushing Reckoning Esports onto that eco round. Reckoning there once again. This is almost telegraphed at this point. Every time they have the eco, they seem to like to go towards the B side. I think XTZ, they're starting to expect it. You can see that C-Long push coming out for Sami. Omen versus Omen at the C-Long. It's Sami with the win. And now XTZ exposed because of the turret. They're gonna be finding a kill, actually. Reckoning able to get a kill onto Hush, but Wimp finds the trade. And now Reckoning, they are exposed in this B push, so they're gonna have to go for the rotate. And they're gonna set their eyes on C, try to get something done on that side.
They're gonna try to do something, but with Sami holding on the fort in that angle, it may just be more than enough. If they go in that scenario,
One enemy remaining.
good play for them, but Sami was gonna be ready for them in that scenario. Gets a good spray on the both of them, takes them out immediately. It's gonna be 3 kills for Sami, and with Sai getting a beautiful headshot onto Ion in that situation. Actually, Ion was jumping around, and Sai was able to get that headshot flick onto him. Beautiful plays coming out from the side of XTZ, shutting down the eco round for the side of the attackers. And especially with no spike going down as well, this eco round was not really successful for the side of Reckoning. So XTZ, they're gonna be happy with this.
Considering, especially, they didn't really have to use as much utility. XCZ, they still have 4 ultimates in their pocket. The lockdown ready for him. 15 kills on this man. He's really, it feels like a beast unleashed with Wimp in Haven. We were wondering if that killjoy could really be effective, right? And he's shown that he has a multitude of setups, really enabling the rest of his team to go for the aggressive peaks they like a lot. He's continuously, like in this round, the setup to cover Garage and B side at the same time, allowing for those aggressive peaks down A main and C long that XTZ like a lot. And it's these aggressive peaks that were able to get XTZ the advantage so far. But this time, Ayan picks up his own operator, knows that there's an aggressive A long operator from Sai, takes him down and gets the first blood for Reckoning Esports. With just 2 rounds left, including this round, this is the moment for Reckoning to start fighting back, and they started off strong.
They're gonna be happy with that first pickup, especially with Sai on that operator going down. That's gonna be spelling a little bit of a doom situation for the side of the defenders. But now they're fighting for that 7-5 scoreline moving forward into their defensive half, where they should have the advantage mainly because they have a Cypher, and the Killjoy is not going to be as strong on the attacking half for the side of XTZ. And now the execution
30
is about to
seconds
start.
left.
Here comes one of the recons, but Rexy, he's not affected by the paranoia, but Rexy is looking somewhere else. He gets taken out. Wim gets 1 kill of his own before he gets traded out by Rio. But now down to a 2
Spike
versus
planted.
4 situation. It's going to be really difficult for the side of the defense. Ion spots out Hirsch. Trying to go in for the crossfire thing, but Ion, you do not reach into
player
this
standing.
man. He's gonna be able to take you out, and Razor spots out the gun barrel coming up from the side of Sami. Takes him out immediately with a well-placed headshot.
Last
Flick.
round before
It's
the
gonna be a
switch.
7-4 scoreline moving into the last round of this half, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you can see for directly Esports, this round was very important. The fist bumps coming through, the camaraderie definitely present in the team as they look to lift each other up, push through, use that momentum to move forward. But in this last round, I want to see XTZ understand the utility they have to their disposal and play more on the basis of that. Maybe not go for the aggressive peaks anymore, rather play defensively and wait for a reckoning to push through. Let them take the site even because you have that killjoy lockdown ready for the retake, and there you can find your advantage on the basis of that. Reckoning, you can see already they're playing very defensively as well. They're expecting XTZ to push out and they're waiting to punish them, but none of that is gonna happen. Only Sami and Harsh went a bit forward. They were trying to get Suez control, but when no one found just yet, Sami will pull back, leave Harsh to hold it down, and it's Sai with the operator holding down mid. The Killjoy in Garage and Rexy holding down C. It's going to be up to Reckoning Esports to make their first move. Now, Reckoning, they have the running back ready, but I'm expecting more of a bait running back this time. Maybe use it to find an advantage position. But with Sai taking down Rio, and another
my
on
God!
Razor. Beautiful off shots from Sai. Establishes and just nails in the advantage for XTZ Esports.
This is called an absolute insane play, Sai. Yeah, that's
I
it
know
says the
exactly
positioning of that crosshair. He was ready for it. He knew exactly where the bodies are gonna be lining on up. But
30
still, at
seconds
the
left.
same time, a little bit more of an advantage for the side of the defense moving forward. Now is the real question of where Reckoning are wanting to execute down, and they're looking to execute down onto the C side, and they need to make it quick because with only 15 seconds left under the clock, it's going to be a fast rush down towards this A side. And Cloda, he
10
does
seconds
pop the
left.
Omen ultimate to get a sneaky flank, and maybe he's going to be able to find something, gets a little bit of information for his team, but with only a couple of seconds left on the clock, not really a lot of time to work with. Wim going to be able to get that one kill down. It's going to be Rexy getting 2 kills of his own. Clouda trying to break the lockdown in that situation, runs out of bullets, has to pull out the classic. And beautiful utility usage in general coming out from the side of XTZ. They held down their sidelines. Yes, of course, Sai got 2 insane kills of his own. But coming out from the side of Rexy, beautiful
Switching
positioning
sides.
from him as well. And with Wim, his last dying breath was that detain. And that caused the entirety of the attackers to be like, hey boys, we gotta execute now. And they tried to execute down on the sea, but with the detain coming out, there's not really a lot of time to go back to anywhere else. Just put the entirety of Reckoning down between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, really nice setup from Saido. I think Jet actually says this at the start of the rounds. Hold down those angles, and they did that perfectly. I wanted to see them play a bit more defensive with the operator, check Sai in the mid, getting those 2 operator kills. I wanted to see utilization of that lockdown, check, they play a bit defensively and see, allow Reckoning to come to them, use that lockdown to push in aggressively on the retake and get that through. And these check marks from XCZ tell me that they're very much collected from map 1. They've basically forgotten what happened in map 1 and they've come into map 2 with a complete mental reset. They're like, guys, we're gonna push through, assume that we have to win every single map from now onwards, and they're trying to do exactly that. On point XCZ Esports. They were 3-0 down, but they pulled back 6 rounds back to back before losing one and then pushing forward to 8-4. A huge lead on the defensive side, no less, meaning they go onto this attacking side where they really, I think, feel way more comfortable with themselves looking for this map win. It's XTZ Esports in the driving seat as they look to push us to map 3.
But I do believe that they're gonna have a lot more of a hard
Right
time
here.
as well moving forward, especially with Wim. This
Right here.
makes their
Right here.
attacking strategies a bit more one-dimensional than I would like. Let's say that the entirety of the defense take a much more of an aggressive approach instead of the much more passive approach that we would expect. Let's say that one of the members start pushing down towards the side of mid. They take full control of mid. One is sitting under window, and one is sitting near the garage box. garage wooden crate, sorry, and they're all set up in such aggressive positioning. Let's say that the attackers went down onto A, they cannot execute down onto A. They want to make a rotation play, especially with the Cypher not being present. They can play much more forward. They can play much more aggressively on the defense, take much more of the aggressive angles. Let's say pushing down towards C long and then pushing down into the spawn. They can do all of that. And this may be a problem for the side of XTZ if they're not very decisive at which side they want to go to. And even if they are decisive, they're going to have a hard time trying to break down into a side because of the Cypher being present and all of the information being given by his camera.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. Like it ends up going down to, I think, teams realizing that you cannot use the killjoy on the lurk the way you use Cypher. You rather have two options with the killjoy. You leave that turret to cover a multitude of angles, but you leave it in a very defensive position. Like if you're going to that A side, you can leave it towards the lobby area, which basically covers your entire flank. Or you use the utility of that killjoy to play very aggressively, find those aggressive teams. Now you can see it's gonna be win from the lurk. XTZ with a very quick B side execute, and Reckoning willing to give it up because they acknowledge that B side one of the easier sides to retake. But I do think that the easier retake option for B only comes through when you have full guns. It's gonna be much more difficult to retake with just the pistols. So we'll see if Reckoning able to pull it off. The spike has gone through, and Reckoning, they're running out of time. They have to make their moves, and they will do so just now. The smoke's coming out as well. They're just gonna go for the defuse, and it's now Ayan pushing in, trying to get mid control. He's found one, but the shot down is spam. For XTZ Esports, meaning the diffuser is down.
My
And us with
God.
the triple is XTZ with the pistol.
My God, that was an absolute bloodbath down near mid-side. Iron gets that opening kill, but it seems as though coming out from the side of the attack, they were already ready for it. Goes in for the spam. Every single one of them just guns blazing down on that mid. Gets headshot after headshot, and Urge with a triple kill as well. Iron, he was not ready for this one pick coming out from when being the smoke criminal that he actually is. Was able to dodge in left and right. Get that kill down onto and to take him out, and this gonna be forcing the side of Reckoning down onto his eco. And it feels like deja vu in CNCA because Sai, he gets a massive ego peek down on the Razor, takes him out immediately as he tries to go on in. Cloud up with the taps with his own classic, trying to do a little bit of damage, but at the same time Hirsch is gonna be able to take him out. And ladies and gentlemen, it seems as though the momentum has shifted towards the side of XTZ. They're soon gonna be moving into a 10-4 scoreline if they keep up this pace.
They got a couple of picks at C, and now they had mid control all along. They're looking to use this pressure to push into B. Reckoning, they push into A main and C long though, and this flank could be huge. Now they will get revealed by the alarm bot. XTZ instantly aware.
One
They will
enemy
push back.
remaining.
Whip on the look with the help of Sai. He'll pick up a couple, and Sami with the loss. That's a flawless round for XTZ Esports. Double digits on the board and a free round set up for the next. The key factor about all of this is that Sai did not invest into weaponry whatsoever in this round, meaning the operator gonna come out for the attackers even before the defenders, and that operator going to be so huge for this team. We'll have to see how Reckoning Esports able to counter it, because right now XTZ Esports, they're just firing on all cylinders. Sami 10-7-10. 10 assists on that Omen, meaning that he's almost always using that paranoia to perfection, and that's so important now, considering that the paranoia's cost is doubled. Sami, I mean, we know that he's really good on a duelist, but now showing his versatility in map 2, supporting his team brilliantly as they look to push us to map 3.
This is what Sami does best. He always shows when he is needed. And ladies and gentlemen, we already see a very fast execute down onto this A-side control has already been established. They're gonna be rushing on in, but it's gonna be Rexy getting taken out by Razor, but Sami with his own beautiful positioning is able to get one more of his own, make things even just a little bit more moving forward. With Ai getting a kill of his own, Whip rushing on in, gets a kill down onto Ion, taking us down to a 3 versus 2 retake scenario for the side of the defense. This is gonna be really difficult moving forward for the side of Reckoning, because the gun disadvantage is gonna be the side of the attackers, but these post plants are really beautiful as well. Side, he does have his own Vandal. He's going in for the plays. Rio, he gets that first initial pick down onto Hirsch, and this is gonna be massive for the side of the defense. If they get this kill on the side, Side gets taken out immediately. And Wimp, he's gonna be left on his own to try going for the place. Wimp gets a beautiful headshot. But the paranoia, beautiful plays coming out from Clouda using the contact being made by his teammate to go in for the paranoia, then for the immediate peek. Knowing that Wimp is gonna feel as though he's gonna be going in for a spike defuse instead. The reads coming out from Cloud and the aggressive nature of his playstyle allowed him to get the win in this round, and the momentum has shifted once again towards the side of Reckoning.
A huge round for Reckoning Esports. Rio and Colada collaborating perfectly to be able to secure that round. A really nice paranoia as well, pushing Wimp onto a sticky situation where he had to push through, because through the paranoia you can't hear if the other person is going for the defuse, so you just have to commit. So Wimp ends up walking into the hands of Florida. I will say though, Side didn't go for the operator in the last round, meaning they still have XTZ full buys, considering last round was basically free, and they're going to use those full buys to now push in this round. Harsh with the peak over SC Long gets that first kill, but now Ayan with his own at mid from B gets a kill onto Wimp and will equalize the agent line on both sides. 4 versus 4 on the map. XTZ, they made a bunch of noise down at mid and C. Now they're going to look to use that pressure to slowly shift walk and make their rotation onto A.
He's making his way down towards the A side. XTZ, they tried to take map control, but at the same time they did lose their killjoy, so they are very vulnerable to a flank. But from the side of Reckoning, they're not really playing it aggressively. They're playing it slow, they're playing it steady. And this recon was not destroyed at the right time, and this is gonna be the detrimental backup for them. Ayan is able to get one kill down onto Sami. With the smoke going down, this feeding is just gonna be a little bit easier to work with. But at the same time, it's not gonna be easy because Rexy gets a kill onto a flanking Razor. He had his sixth sense already. He knew exactly what was going to be happening in that scenario. He knows for the fact that flank is going to be vulnerable. Someone's going to try and take advantage of it. He goes in for the flick. He gets the headshot on the Razor, takes him out, and it's going to be leaving Ayan to go in for this ridiculous. Ayan gets a 1 kill, but Triss, he needs to try and take out 2 at the bare minimum in this situation. He gets spotted out by the recon. So much information is being given away. He goes left, he goes right, but Rexy has its crosshair straight on the head of Triss to take him out, and it's going to be another beautiful round coming out from the side of the attackers. It's XTZ. They take round number 11 in their favor.
A really nice round picked up for XTZ Esports. They able to get that A-side rotation through, able to get really nice post-plant positions, covering multiple angles, and even though they go down, they're able to get the trades because of their post-plant position. Harsh holding down behind the Radiant boxes with really nice jiggles, just baiting Ayan into the hands of Rexy, who picks up that final kill and pushes XTZ Esports onto this round. Now the paranoia coming out as Reckoning go for that C-long peak. Not able to find much though. They do some damage onto Sami, but not able to find a kill just yet. This is the eco for Reckoning Esports, and it's surprising eco too, because you would expect when the other team is at 11 points that the team goes for a forced buy because you don't want to play back from overtime. But Reckoning, they're willing to make that gamble. They go for the eco, knowing that they have a disadvantage. Likely that will push them push XTZ to overtime, and they'll have to play from there. XTZ, they pick up a kill onto Razor, and now they're gonna push into this B side. Likely find their rotation from B onto another.
Already, they know exactly what Reckoning are gonna be thinking. And Reckoning not really going for the 4 5 in that round
standing.
was a bit questionable because you don't really want to fight for the overtime in this situation. And on an 11 and 5, they went in for that save
Match
and
point.
not getting a single kill as well. It's gonna be a question mark for me, CA, because is it actually a good move to even try to fight for an overtime on a 12 and 5 scoreline?
Not sure about good, but I will say it's a very risky move because there's two edges to it, right? On one hand, you have a full buy as compared to a forced buy, so now you can actually look to push through with your full comfort of the weaponry, but at the same time, you have zero room left now. You cannot make any mistakes. You have to win deals back to back. So Reckoning will have to see if they're comfortable with their backs against the wall, because that's where they are now. They missed this one shot. Wimp with the jump able to dodge it out, and now he's able to take some control. At Rio though with the drone, he was able to spot one out. Will pull out the Hunter's Fury, look for the tags, but Rio with the dancing moves able
You
to
should
dodge it out.
run.
He did get one tag Rio, but not as much damage done. Instead is the lockdown setup for Wim, or just the bait as XTZ. They make their way onto this seaside. But this is really nice discipline from Reckoning Esports. They recognize that as long as the push doesn't come in, they don't need to leave their angles, and that's going to be what is going to be the biggest edge. The runner back popped a little too early. XCZ playing the mind games. They went to C, but they're not going to go there whatsoever. Instead, now making their way onto B and getting the plant through. Beautiful strategy from XCZ Esports.
This is the strategy that we wanted to see coming out from them, CN, especially with the plant going down and a 5-man hold down towards the B side. This is going to be super difficult, especially now that the B side is one of those easier angles, I would say, to hold. And Rexy, he played an aggressive positioning down here in the back of side. He's going to be able to find one side, gets one for himself, with the ultimate getting popped as well, coming out from the side of Rexy. Triss, he's able to shut down one. Iron gets one for himself as well. It's gonna be Sami going in for the plays from the sidelines, but he's not gonna be able to check every single corner. Iron gets taken down by Hirsch, and Hirsch gets a second as well. Takes out the diffuser, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna be moving into map number 3 on a 13-5 scoreline for map number 2.
Like I have to say, like the reads from XCZ Esports in the latter half of the map, especially, so on point. In this last round, you can see they put down the lockdown at A, they make their rotation onto C, but as soon as they know that Reckoning have understood that that's what XCZ is doing, as soon as they hear the come on, let's go from the running back, they push it back, they go back into B. They know that B side is completely empty with the full rotations having come out, and they get their side there, plant the Killjoy utility, and that's where the Killjoy is slightly better than the Cypher on attack because she has the swarm grenades to play for the post plants, and you can see XCZ, they use it really well. Wimp is the MVP, and man, he was on point in this match. I think we have plenty to talk about, especially going into map 3. So we'll go to the LG Ultragear match highlights really quick and just understand what was the key difference for both of the teams from map 1 and map 2. Now, both of the maps, they were quite dominating. 13-6 in map 1, 13-5 in map 2, XTZ taking map 2. I think for XTZ, the way they were able to mentally reset themselves, the fact that I think my biggest question for map 1 was can the IGL duties and the duelist duties really combine together? Sai answers with resounding yes. He's able to get the really good reads with the help of teammates like Rexy. Make sure that the rest of his team on the same page as they push through. Those reads are so important in Haven. This is why we regularly see this map go overtime, because the mind games always end up reigning supreme and it's very close. But the dominant fashion in which XTZ able to close it out really sets us up for a brilliant map 3, because I do think Reckoning, they fell short in their own mind games a little bit. I think they got a little pressured, and coming into map 3, it will be a test of whether they can do a complete reset, because we know from map 1 they definitely have that potential. Aggressive, what do you think? Do you think we're going to see overtime in map 3?
Overtime on map 3, that I don't know, but we do need to analyze what exactly happened in this map. As you stated before, the mind games coming out from the side of XTZ was just incredible. And it seems as though Reckoning, they tried to play it a bit too one-dimensional, and this is where they had their downfall. This one-dimensional playstyle, especially on the map of Haven, does not really help out. You normally would see this with a triple duelist composition, but with the composition that Reckoning had, they had a lot of room to work with, and on the map and on their defensive half as well, they did not really try to establish any form of map control, even though they knew for a fact that the attacking side had a killjoy. With that killjoy, you can play it a lot more aggressively. You can go in for those flank plays, and not really seeing that coming from the side of the defense left a question mark for me. And as you stated before, this third map is where everything's going to be changing. Which team is going to have the morale to move on forward? Because XTZ's morale is way up here, and Reckoning, they need to reach the same level of morale if they want any chance to try and win out this third map. Because XTZ, when they have that momentum, they're going to be firing up on all cylinders, every single one of these players.
Yeah, and that morale definitely very important. We'll have to see if Reckoning can reset it and come back into map 3 strong. Because XTZ going into map 3, they're going to have a solid plan. And they're going to have some really interesting strategies that I want to see unfold. So we'll see which team able to come out on top. For now, we're gonna go set that map up, give the players a small break, a chance for them to really just collect themselves and come fresh into map 3. In the meantime, you can check out the links in the description. Make sure you drop a like. I know you're enjoying the matches, and so are we. And hit that notification bell. We'll be back really soon with map 3 of the XTZ Esports and Reckoning Esports match in the LG Ultragear TEC Invitational Valorant tournament. back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear TEC Invitational Valorant tournament. We're back for map 3 in this lower bracket semifinals 2 between XTZ Esports and Reckoning Esports. Let's quickly go on to the map veto screen, see what we have in store for you for map 3. Now, aggressive, it is split. And I do remember seeing XTZ on split previously. They played that double sentinel Sage Killjoy with the Brimstone composition. So I think we're in for a treat.
In for a real treat, especially when you think of Sage. You know for a fact that Sai is gonna be the person playing that Sage, and Sai going on the stage means that he can pick up the IGL role a lot more strongly, not have to worry about fragging out of his mind, and coordinating the team a lot more. This will give a very big difference for them. And don't forget, the firepower is about to ramp up because Sami, he's going to be going on to his jet. And Sami is one of those players that got his name because of his jet plays, because of how he uses his knives and how he comes out on top in all of those engagements. But I do
Oh,
believe that this could be a
oh,
huge change because Rexy, he picks up the breach. And this is going to be super interesting if Sai actually goes onto a controller
no, 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 no.
or is
So I think this is so I think the entire idea of that Sage Killjoy composition is to try and counter a team that is playing the breach. I think they know that Reckoning they've never shown that breach themselves and are likely to go for a different type of composition. So they opt to go for the breach themselves, knowing that it's very unlikely that Reckoning pick up that Sage Killjoy, try to counter that breach composition exactly. And this sort of mind games, even before the map begins, absolutely brilliant by XTZ Esports. But looking at Reckoning itself, right? Triple duelist composition, Clouda on the Phoenix. That's not something we've got to see a lot. And I do like the triple duelist composition against the breach, especially on attack. So we'll have to see if they can find their comfort there. Because going into like both sides, it's gonna be XTZ with slightly more flexibility because the triple duelist on split on defense, it's not gonna be that strong.
Purple Dillis is gonna be having a hard time down on this defensive round, so they need to win as many rounds as humanly possible to outrun this attack. Hopefully a 12-0 if they're able to pull it off, but it's gonna be really difficult, especially with this breach composition, because breach is one of those few agents that can just completely hold down any of the sites with a fellow teammate, especially down near the B side, where he can just play from heaven side, have one of his fellow members down near vents, holding down the vents angle, while he just holds down B heaven, while he holds down B heaven, and also B of the entire site because of his flashes being present. He can just flash through the pillar constantly, allowing his teammate down inside of B side to go in for easy peeks onto the enemies who are trying to enter on in. And these B side executes are gonna be super difficult moving on forward, especially for the side of Reckoning, because they have a triple duelist. Yes, you're going to be rushing down into a sites, but going for site rushes against a breach is something that you do not want to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be a very icky situation where you end up having to bait out the utility, try to find those 1v1 duels for yourself as much as possible, and then play on the basis of that. But at the same time, what the triple duelist composition does give you is just pure like firepower, the ability to just sort of make sure that you can push through into a particular site and then look to find your advantage there. XCZ, they definitely have more options, but it is the side of Reckoning that is just going all guns blazing into this map. They're giving it everything they've got because not only is their tournament life on the line, both of these teams, they're fighting for a piece of that prize pool. The winning team guaranteed that prize. So we're having a couple of technical issues. So I think we're just gonna sort them out when we be back. What I want to ask you though, Aggressive, is how do you think this how would you like to see this triple duelist composition really come to fruit, and what ends up being the role of Clouda? Because the Phoenix is not something that we get to see a lot whatsoever. It's something that is rarely seen on Split because there's not many places to get a proper flash through. So a lot of pressure going to be on Cloud.
Lotus gonna have a really hard time. Expected a Reina pick to come through, but now seeing the Phoenix instead, it's gonna put a big question mark on me because Phoenix is gonna have a pretty hard time. I understand why the Phoenix pick came through. You can play it a lot more aggressively through the side of vents and hold down vents really strongly, but at the same time, the Reina can do it as well in a much more easier manner, mainly because she has the dismiss ready. I do believe that Clouda, he's planning to use his run it back as frequently as possible, but on
Yeah.
the map of Split, using that run it back and recycling it very quickly is quite difficult as well, mainly because orb control establishment on this map is really hard in comparison to maps like Ascent or Haven, where the orbs are in a much more acquirable position. And on Split, it's not as requirable because you're gonna be put into danger space constantly whenever you're trying to go in for these orbs because of how open the orbs are in comparison to the other maps.
Like the best positions to flank are that B garage in A long area, right? Because they're the corridors with the extremely steep walls where he can ready his pop flash and get a really easy access, and that's where the orb control is. So I want to see Reckoning doing a lot of that. Use that Phoenix to get the orbs as much as possible, even if the orbs are not going in the
Can I get
hands
a
of
drop?
Phoenix. As long as you're
Thanks.
dealing with somebody like the Raves or the Killjoy, even getting those ultimates online can really make a huge difference. So we'll have to see which team able to use that strategy to find their best foot forward. Now, another key thing to notice in this map, it will be Hush on that race. He's been playing that Reina for the last couple of maps, and he's been good, but he's not been the next level Hush that we expect him to be. So I want to see him just pop off in this map, and we'll see it happen. We'll see if it does happen. For now, it's Reckoning starting on the attack and XTZ on the defense, and both the teams in prime position. If XTZ gets a good lead in defense, they're gonna be just set up for a very easy attack into a triple duelist composition. And for Reckoning, it's all about establishing their lead in the attack, establishing their dominance from the start, and they're looking to do that with now having taken mid control, funneling it onto A. But with the alarm bot revealing the position, XTZ know exactly where they are.
They're gonna be knowing where they are, but they need to execute very quickly. Reckoning are not able to execute really fast. This may just be a detrimental for their side. Cloud is gonna be able to get that repack down on the side, but Hirsch with that frenzy, he gets a double, and Whip gets a double of his own, just completely shutting down the attack. Coming out from the side of Reckoning. They should have just gone down towards the B side instead. They had the perfect play and the perfect chance as well. They tried to brute force their way down into this A side, but you have Heaven control. I really do understand that, but you don't need to push in through the side of Heaven. You need to send 3 players to go down from A main instead, because the A main angle is where the triple dealers composition is gonna have the easiest time breaking into. Keep Heaven control, stay inside of Heaven, cut off the rotations, go in through the side of A main, use all of your utility to break down into a side, but instead trying to push from the Heaven side was not really the smartest plan. I would say coming up to the side of Reckoning, but just as I said, it's gonna be an eco round for this side. It's gonna be a fast eco rush down here mid. Ion tapping on a way inside, trying to get out with his life, but he's not gonna be able to. Taking it down to a 3 versus 2 situation is gonna be the side of Reckoning. They're able to get the picks that they needed and the guns that they wanted in this situation, ladies and gentlemen, as they make the rotation back down from the side of mid. They're slowly making their way back, slowing down the pace of this entire fight. Reckoning, they know for a fact that they have the man advantage and they're wanting to play for it. Playing it real slow, playing it steady, playing for the picks instead in their favor. And XTZ, they're going to be spread out, cutting off as many rotation angles as possible. Rexy, though, he's on that breach. He has a lot of utility to work with, being the concussive blast to stop off any sort of a push that could come out for them. Rexy is gonna be able to take first contact. He's gonna be able to take out 2 before he goes down. And now in this 1 versus 1 situation, Rio, he knows for a fact that where the Killjoy is gonna be at. He's gonna be near down at this side. He's gonna get a free plan for himself, but Whip, he has full HP to work with. But Whip, he's making so much noise. He's running on down. He's going to be running and gunning, it seems, in this situation. And this may be detrimental, giving away so much noise. Whip puts down the turret, and this is going to be locking onto 1 as he's making his way around. Wimp, he knows exactly where he is, but this is going to be a detrimental factor, Rio. He's not going to be able to hit that shot. He gets taken out immediately, and Wimp adding insult to injury. Rexy, he doesn't believe it, and so doesn't Hirsch in this situation. Reckoning they had the perfect chance to win this round, but they were not able to because of the heroics coming out from Wimp.
But really nice rush, translating into a lot of control for their side. able to take down Rexy, and just this mid bloodbath resulting in Ayan getting a gun for himself and taking a lot of money from the hands of XTZ, pushing it down the drain. Now, in this situation is where I wonder, why not just go for a complete heavy stack into B side, knowing that the Killjoy and the Breach have to be completely set up. Even if the Breach can flash for himself, it is unlikely that he'll be able to peek through the flash at the same time, and that's where you should try to find your advantage. The fact that they split up, I think in the end does end up costing them, because in a 1v1, Wimp with a nasty flick able to secure the round, make it 2-0 for XTZ Esports. A thrifty on the cards, but so close yet so far for Reckoning. Meaning now, XTZ going into the next round, they'll be able to get the buys through, they'll be able to get the operator through, and it's going to be Sai holding down his mid angle. He'll find one, he'll get out of the way. Party's over, says Sai, and he starts XTZ off in a brilliant fashion.
He starts him off in a really good fashion, but Sai, he's on a naked operator at this point, and he's an absolute glass cannon in this situation, and he needs to be very careful. But Rexy, he has a beautiful setup of his own down near the side of Heaven. He has his flashes ready, and he has it angled for any sort of a Heaven push, and it's gonna be Hirsch taking first contact down from the side of Rafter. But it seems as though Reckoning, they're slowly making their way down towards this A site instead, and they're going to be trying to go in for that execute one more time. But how much is this execute gonna help? Because Rexy, he's already in position. He has 3 of his flashes available, and with one flash, he's gonna be blinding down from the side of Heaven with a second flash. They're not gonna be able to push on through with only 15 seconds left on the clock. They need to rush on down into the side. Sami does spot out multiple. Rexy, he takes out one of the Iron. Sami is able to take out his own goal. He's able to take out Rio. Cloud answers back with a double kill of his own, but from the side of Heaven and from the side of Elbow, the damage has already been done and the positions have already been taken. It's gonna be XTZ once again coming out on top in this engagement as they take us to a 3-0 scoreline.
Really nice round for XTZ Esports, and this is where the shortfalls of a triple duelist composition really start getting exposed, because you need that first pick in every single round. You need that first pick so you can have the advantage where you can find the rotation into a side, because without that first pick, you're at the mercy of the utility for the other team. You're constantly exposed by things like the Killjoy utility or things like the Breach flashes, and therefore you find yourself at a disadvantage all the time. Just as I say that, the flash setup for Hush finds that peak, a really nice headshot, and the first kill for Hush. Wimp with another, and XTZ once again in control. This is the eco for Reckoning, but it's not an eco like last time. XTZ very much dominant in this one. And with the exception of one person, XTZ will likely just finish it off with 4 men standing. Rio, he's just gonna get flashed out again and again, and he's not gonna be able to move if he goes into the operator. So I'll take him down, and 4-0 for XTZ Esports.
This is where the damage is being done, ladies and gentlemen. XTZ, they have the momentum in their favor. 4-0 on the scoreboard, and it's gonna be another buy round coming out for the side of Reckoning, and they need to make this count. And once again, this attacking operator coming out from the side of Reckoning, I have a very personal opinion that attacking operators on the map of Split is not really that good, I would say. Yes, of course, if the player is super good with the operator, it's going to be something very different. But Sai, he nearly gets caught out by the boombot, has to use his dash, so some utility has been used at the bare minimum. So Sai, he cannot play very aggressive angles anymore because of this operator, because of him not really having the dash to get him out of any sort of these sticky situations. But at the same time, they're going to be happy because they now know where the operator is planted at. This A-side push is very much possible. The two Omens are going to be squaring each other off. We can see them, but they can't see each other, so not really any sort of information being given. Rio, he's slowly making that push, but Sami, he had his spider senses tingling in that situation. Knew exactly what Rio was going to be up to. He's going to go take that peek, but he's going to be proving me wrong in this situation, saying that the operator is not good on attack as he gets the first initial pick off already. But Rexy, he has his rolling thunders available. He knows what's up, and he's gonna be putting a stop to any attack that the side of Reckoning can do as they slowly make their way down onto this B side. But with the damage being done already, another beautiful Killjoy. Molly as well. Whip has everything set up. He also has a lockdown to boot to stop this attack. And ladies and gentlemen, there's only 27 seconds left on the clock. They need to execute down to the side right now. As Clouder, he gets that first initial pick down on the side, but there's not really a lot of time to work with. They need to execute down once again really quickly. There's only a couple of seconds left on the clock, 12 seconds left. They need to execute fast and they need to execute quick, but Rexy, he has the ultimate available as well. Stops the plant off immediately, and it's gonna be Sami from the side of heaven. So take a 4K for himself, and at the operator the boot. A beautiful use of utility coming out from the side of XTZ. Every single one of these players came out incredible on this round.
Huge round for XTZ Esports. The way they're able to just, you know, vibe in all fronts. Make sure that they use the lockdown, especially when I'm playing that Killjoy and Split. There's always rounds where you want to set up the toaster in a particular angle when you want to sort of facilitate the opponent's entry into your utility. But when you have your ultimate, you're always playing defensively, using that lockdown to deny any push altogether. Play for time, and in this case, really set up side on the operator as well. But now Ayan is trying to rush the operator, dash updraft, he'll take side down, pick it up for himself. Now Ayan, he has that operator ready for himself. The rest of his team on the post fights though, it will be Vim trying to hold it down. Revealed now and taken down by Razor and Rio. The Omen found his way into the site with the help of his ultimate. He's now able to get the spike planted. Reckoning fighting back with a really nice fast execute. They're able to take spike control, get their post plants in, and now XTZ with the man disadvantage, they're gonna have to try their best to push back in for the retake.
This is gonna be where the real fun is about to start, ladies and gentlemen, because Rio, he gets 2 kills of his own, and this is very much possible for the side of the attackers to win. This was, of course, the eco round for their side, and just as I said, Razor with his movement is gonna be able to take out Hirsch, and this eco round was a thrifty for the side of the attackers. Ladies and gentlemen, the momentum has finally been stopped. XTZ stopped in their tracks in this scenario. Were able, like, the side of the attackers were able to stop them in this situation. But now is the big question mark, CA, because a lot of economic damage has already been done to the side of XTZ, because you have to remember they were not able to win their previous rounds decisively. A lot of members went down, and it always came down to those 1v1 scenarios. So if XTZ loses this round and that operator, it's gonna be all over for them.
Now, 5-1. The reach ready. Try to hold down B side as much as possible. The Killjoy position shifted. It's gonna be up to Wimp to hold it down. Sai already denied his operator as he was taken down. But now Harsh with the aggressive push. He finds one, but instantly trades with the trade, meaning Reckoning. They've created a bunch of noise at B garage. Even forced that Killjoy to leave that A side completely. The utility is disabled, but maybe Reckoning playing into their own minds. They try to go for the double backstab. They make their way back into B side, and I do wonder if this will end up playing against them, because you can see with A side completely open, that side would have been perfect for them. But now Chris, he's holding down garage, he's finding a pick, and using that pick, the rest of Reckoning, they're gonna make his way onto him, use that pressure and the lockdown to get their B side for them.
One enemy remaining.
Gonna be able to find it as well. As Sami gets 1 kill on the Cloud, but it gets immediately traded out by Ayan. Wim going in for the spray, but this lockdown is gonna be catching him out. He's gonna be detained, and this is gonna be a free plan for the side of the attackers. And Wimp, he's gonna be opting to go for a save with this operator. Especially, you have to remember, on the defensive rounds, even having that one gun in your favor is going to be the deciding factor. While on the side of the attack, you always want to buy with your team, always have the guns with your team, so that you can execute down together and you're all gonna be in the same page. And when it comes to the operator, you just want to have this gun on the side of defense. It's just one of those free pick guns that no matter what you want to have, like, in whatever scenario, especially now that Wimp, he has full shields, he's going to be holding down the fort. And that attacking round was really well done coming out from the side of Reckoning, because they were able to shut down all of the aggressive peaks coming out from the side of XTZ, and they were able to capitalize on it on every single turn.
Yeah, and this is like the sort of approach you want to see from Reckoning, right? We talked about this at the start of the pre-round. Like in the triple duelist composition, you want to expose XTZ to
I
as
get
many
this?
individual duels as possible because what XTZ
Thanks.
have that you don't is a utility. So when you play against that utility is when Reckoning will find themselves at a disadvantage. Continuously
Time's
instead forcing them
Quick
into
peeks now.
pure mechanical duels will
Placing
allow
swarm
them to
grenade.
use that duelist power to its utmost potential, then use that to inherently find your rotations, push through onto site. For Reckoning Esports, that's where they look to find their advantage, and they're able to do so now, having won 2 rounds back to back. They will force XTZ Esports onto an eco round, but Sahi has their operator ready, picks up a frag, and Sahi's the only one with a proper gun in this round. So it's going to be important for him to really step up, and so far he has. But the stack for XTZ, they're leaving Sai on his lonesome to hold down A, and 4-man stacking this B side. A lot of pressure and responsibility put onto
There.
Sai, but so far he's really stepping up. I mean, they do say with power comes a responsibility, and Sai right now showing exactly what the power of equipping that operator is helping his team do. XCZ with control over multiple angles and Reckoning really with nowhere to go.
This is gonna be really difficult because Razor, he may just bite off a bit more than he can chew, but Sai, he's getting a lot of information on his own down near this A side, relaying it all to his team as this slowly but surely, it seems as though the side of the attackers are moving towards the other
30
sideline.
seconds
No
left.
noise was made for so long, but it's gonna be Clouda getting that first initial kill off on Usami. And already the damage is gonna be done. They're gonna be running on in. Clouda gets his second. Clouda gets his third with well played shots of his own. Razor gets his own from the sidelines on the whim, leaving Sai on his lonesome once again. And ladies and gentlemen,
Spike
the
planted.
damage has already been done. The flash has been blocked on Sai. He needs to make a run for it. He needs to save this operator at all costs. He cannot give this up. As Clouda, he's jumping around. He's making a shimmy. He's wide peeking all of the angles. And they're hunting him down. They're all coming for him at Sai. He hears the footsteps. They're thumping left. They're thumping right. They're coming for him already.
He's trying his best to stay this
Oh,
operator.
no.
He's out of cloud first. He's out of tailwind. And there's really nowhere for him to go. They'll hunt him down. They'll pick up the operator. I mean, they don't need to because Ion already has one. So now you can see Reckoning Esports having denied another operator for Sai. Their economy really starting to bloom in this situation. For XTZ, like at this point, when you have a 4-man stack onto a particular site, you really cannot allow B having control to be taken. But Clouda with huge positioning, right? He was lurking in that mid area for so long, and he is able to push in, use his flashes to perfection to allow his team to facilitate his team really to push into the side, take that B having control, get the spike planted, and then hunt down Sai. I really like the strategy of XTZ, but not being able to hold down a 4-man site ended up really costing them towards the end of the day and making sure that there was no chance of a Thrifty to come out. Now, Sai's picked up another operator, and he's yet again gonna find that first blood.
Joke's over! You're
He's
dead!
on his lonesome, holding it down. Will take out the running back clone for Clouda, and Sai with a huge defensive hold, allowing his team to now come to his aid. It's Wimp with 1 kill, but Reckoning, they've taken side control. It's XTZ with the advantage, though, and XTZ will have the
Spike
advantage
planted.
as they push through on the retake.
Sai, with his magic number of health, is still alive in this situation. And here is where the damage could be done as XTZ. They're cleaning them up. The entirety of Reckoning in this situation. And Sai, he knows exactly what's up. He gets his third kill as well with the running back clone included, leaving Triss in a really bad situation. And Savi, he gives no damns about the Killjoy Molly being present down near elbow. He just pushes on straight through it, gets the kill on the Triss, and takes him out immediately. It's gonna be XTZ getting one more round on the board in their favor as the momentum is finally back into the favor of XTZ as they take us to a 6-3 scoreline.
Really nice round for XTZ, and I mean, Sai on the op, man. This guy is just on fire. Like, the ability to deny an angle altogether, and the ability to continuously reposition
There.
yourself to find the next angle where they're likely to come. Finding Rio towards the end on his ultimate, especially denying that Omen flank altogether, meaning Sai just making sure his team is covered from all fronts. Sai protected his team so well and held on to his side, making sure the XTZ don't draw multiple rounds back to back. Instead, they're able to steal a bit of momentum back in their favor. Now he's repositioned himself into B heaven, and that's exactly where Reckoning seem to be making their way. Ayan has his own operator, and Ayan able to surprise Sai with the positioning, jumping onto those areas through the little containers. Finding the first shot, takes down the operator, and Ayan will clear out that B heaven, allow his team to use the advantage to find a rotation onto a different side.
Whenever you're holding down operator at that angle, you always want to hold for the upper angle. And I say this before over and over again, that flicking down is way easier than flicking up. And Sai, he just got caught off guard in that situation. And here's where the real problem is about to start, because with this operator going down on the side of the defense, you're losing one of your biggest firepower guns and one of the most impactful players as well on the side of the defense. But you have to remember something, CA, that Reckoning, they have a triple duelist composition and they're having a really rough time on the side of attack. What will happen on the side of the defense is the real question. But now, as of this round, it seems as though the attackers are making their way down towards this A side where the real damage is about to start. Rexy pops one of the flashes, but Whip, he has such a beautiful position. He's gonna be able to hold down the 40. He also has a lockdown to work with, but Whip, he's not gonna be opting to use it just yet. Iron goes in for a mad lad dash straight onto Whip. He's gonna be able to get that one kill. It's gonna be Razor getting one from the sideline. Rio chimes in with his own onto Rexy, leaving Sami on his lonesome to try and save this operator again for his team and keep his full shields as well to boot.
Sami really has no choice that has to go for the save. That entire play, a really nice flash set up by Clouder, because not only does that flash allow that entry, but what I think is the most underrated part of that entry is that it flashes the turret as well, right? Because the setup by Wimp was in such a way that the swarm grenades right under the ramp where you enter onto site, the turret set up so that as soon as they enter the ramp onto the site, the turret will give him the information that hey, they're there, and then he pops the swarm grenades. But the fact that the turret is flashed, meaning he gets really no information and has to rely on pure prediction to pop his swarm grenades, basically avoiding a lot of damage. Oh my god, Sami. Oh my god. Sami was a little off there, missed his shot, but the time running out on time, meaning he gets to save the op and gets away scot-free despite that. And like going back to the point, like for me, the fact that they're able to use that Phoenix utility is really nice to see. But it once again begs the question, as you asked, this is the attacking round. This is where they're supposed to really be at least a tad stronger than they will be on defense, especially against the breach composition. So for Reckoning Esports, they need to try and pull off these next 2 rounds as well. Try to get to 6-6 and then hold the fort down in defense, because so far, even though XTZ are not necessarily happy, they will be content with this 6 round scoreline. Now Harsh with the showstopper, he's trying to push in, trying to get some control, and while he didn't get any kills, they have gotten a bunch of mid control, with Sai holding down A and with mid control all but got for XTZ Esports. The natural location where you assume the rest of Reckoning to be is B, and that's where XTZ going to concentrate their defense.
That is really true, and especially with the utility usage coming out from the side of the defense as well, this B-side execute is something that these B-side execute is something that Reckoning really are deterred to do so. And I've stated this before when we saw the breach composition as well, that B-side is one of the strongest sides for breach, and they can, like, there's no way a B-side execute is going to be easy for them. And that's why we see a lot of the winning rounds coming out from the side of Reckoning to be on that A side instead of the B side. And with the showstopper coming out and Sai, he's just so patient with the operator! And the timing is ever so beautiful as well. He gets 2 kills of zone with his operator. He's looking for his third, but Ion is going to be posted to shut him down in this scenario. Wimp goes in for the peak. Ion misses the shot, and it's going to be Wimp getting that forward control down onto the A side, and they're going to be going in for a rotation play, but they don't really have a lot of time, and not having a lot of time means a lot of mistakes in this situation. It's going to be Ion being able to get that kill, but there is no time to work with, ladies and gentlemen, as it's going to be a round for the side of the defense. Beautiful play of the clock, and Sai having the patience to hold down from the side screens was absolutely beautiful, because, ladies and gentlemen, when you, like, Sai is one of the most patient operator players that I've ever seen. He's very patient and very aggressive as well when he needs to be, and this dynamic nature that he has allows him to catch his opponent off guard whenever he has that operator.
In a best of three, when you're in map three, it's so important for you to be able to rely on your team, especially as an operator player, to hold down one particular angle while you look for the other. And that's, I think, as you said, that patience coming out from Sai so beneficial to the team because he knows, has the confidence from the calls in his team that they're holding down that side perfectly, and there's no way that Reckoning able to get into B. So all he has to do really is hold down A, knowing that surely but eventually they will just walk into his sight lines and he'll be able to pick up the kills the way he did. The time running out for Reckoning Esports, meaning XTZ, now with a 3-round lead. And for XTZ, with this last round, if they're able to push through 8-4, I really do think like the momentum might be too much in their favor because we have to remember the way the first two maps went. It was 13-5 in the favor of Reckoning and 13-6 in the favor of XTZ. Both of these teams, they're dominant when the momentum is in their favor. And right now, if XTZ able to secure this 8th round, not only will they come off with a very comfortable and very good defensive round, but they'll go on to the attacking, where they not only as a team are naturally better, but they have the breach in their favor to really push through. This is XTZ's moment to really take that driver's seat, push forward, and grab control of the map and the series.
Completely agree with you on that. And we also need to talk about the fact that they have a triple duelist composition and they have an operator instead of having that third rifle. Normally, when you think of a triple duelist composition, you always want everyone to rush down into a site, take control of as many angles as possible, then establish map control. And I understand that you want him on that operator, get that first initial pick, but at the same time, you take that first pick or you get taken down yourself. And after you take that first pick, what do you do in that situation? You're not really establishing a lot of map control. And that is where XTZ is thriving. Having no map control allows the defenders to move around a lot of the sidelines. Maybe one guy's playing on the side of Heaven, one guy's rotating from the side of Sewers, one guy's coming out from the side of Vents. Everything is gonna be present, and this sort of a play that Reckoning is trying to do is, I do believe, what's hurting them when it comes to their attacking rounds. Having no map control and giving XTZ the room to breathe and the freedom to do whatever they want. For example, Sai, he was just posted down in screens for like what? About 1 minute and 15 seconds entirely during that match round? That should not happen, especially to an operator player, because an operator player should be someone who's being forced to constantly rotate, keep him guessing where you're gonna be at. And Reckoning, they failed to do that in that round.
Yeah, Reckoning, I think for them, it really does come down to now whether they're able to use the explosive potential to their power. They're going for a heavy A-side push. Ram's control already taken by both of the duelists as they try to push into the side. But Wimp, he's holding it down here. Wimp, he's waiting for someone to push in. And Wimp, the patient, pays off, takes down Razor, threads the needle. And on the other side of the map, Sai will chime in, takes down Trace. That's a 2-man advantage for XTZ Esports. And Reckoning just caught in the middle of nowhere. But Ayani is able to answer back with his own operator. Finds a kill on Sani. And now with mid control, it's going to be up to Rio and Clouder to push in. Rio, he finds a kill onto Harsh, opens up B side, but this is where Ayan is so key, finds another onto Wimp. A side completely open now, but the mind games start here. You see, Reckoning Esports, they know that they made a bunch of noise at A, they're gonna go back into B, but Sai's patience, he's still holding down B, and if he peeks down this garage angle at the right time, Sai will end this attack in the minute, right here, right now. All of Reckoning pushing in. Sai with the peak will miss the first shot. Sai with another. He finds one. Pulls out the play stop. As Ayan dashes into him, will miss the shot. And Ayan with the shot, he will take him down. Now it's all down to Rexy and he has his rolling thunder ready. Rexy will pull it out. Denies the plant in the last minute and the flashes come through. It's Rexy pushing in. And now Rexy hunting for the last two. Knows he only has to delay it for another 5 more seconds.
10 seconds
and he's
left.
Out one player. He's able to get the spine carrier down. Just needs to buy 5 more seconds. And Rexy with the clutch, he'll buy enough time to make it 8-4 for XTZ Esports.
Rexy, so consistent and so smooth. He does
Switching
it once
sides.
again. Plays the merry-go-round, uses his rolling thunder down to perfection. He did everything right in that situation, and he was able to come out on top. And Reckoning, they were not keeping tabs on ultimates, and that is what hurt them the most. And you, for a fact that Rexy had the rolling thunder, but I have to give it to Sai. Him getting that kill onto Clouda was so important. Even if he dies in this situation, as soon as Clouda dies, that means one less angle for Rexy to worry about when he's going in for that retake. And with that rolling thunder, he had all of the time and all of the capabilities to do so, and ending that first half down on an 8-4, XTZ are gonna be more than happy. They're gonna be ecstatic because now they're on their stronger side, and for the side of Reckoning, they're on their weaker side. And if they play this default, this is gonna be really difficult for them because Reckoning, they need to take the fight to the side of the attackers instead of playing defensively on their own terms.
This is where even like getting the operator is gonna be very difficult for Reckoning because the breach, he's like the anti-operator. He has a ton of flashes to deny all the sightlines you
Found
want,
them.
and you can see XTZ
Bomb
already
grenade
using
out.
it to their advantage. They utility to set up for the
Planted.
postman now just needs to step back, wait in his position, allow Reckoning to flow into this site and hold on. Rexy with that mid control will end up going down, and that kill could be the X factor for Reckoning to push forward on the retake.
This could be the round that they were able to win out, but with Sai and Sami getting kills of their own, the damage has already been done. But Clouda and Ian, they're pulling off the heroics just a little bit more. They're able to force them down to such a bad scenario, but Withy in such a beautiful position, he's gonna be able to get that kill. It's gonna be him getting that first initial one. Oh my god, Ian going in for the 960. They're trying to change the guns. They have no ammo to work with, and it's gonna be Whip with the wraparound through the side of Pillar. He's gonna be coming out on top. Rexy can't believe it. What exactly happened in this situation? How did they win out this round? They don't know. Rexy, he's just like, what just happened? And Hirsch is like, yeah, it just did happen. Don't worry about it, bro.
And this is what I mean when one of these teams starts picking up the momentum. You see, they start literally pulling rabbits out of hats. They pull out these plays out of nowhere. It was Rexy with the insane clutch in the last round. Rip now here, playing so well from backside, using the smokes as a perfect distraction, taking down the spike diffuser, and then going around the pillar to pick up two more. Wimp with a huge pistol clutch. Don't get me wrong, I know that this is just a pistol round, but it's all about that momentum. It's about how much morale you can build for your team by just making one insane play, and that momentum is really what gets all of these players fired up and ready to go. Having won this pistol round, now they have the anti-eco, they can get the buys, look for double digits for themselves. XTZ Esports in the run, pushing forward for that reverse sweep.
I still can't believe what happened in that pistol round. You can see all of the first of all, Ion going in for the knife. And then he ran out of bullets. So did Clouda. Both of them ran out of bullets. They had to switch their guns. And then Whip with the insane clutch. And I do, as you stated before, this was the pistol round, but at the same time, you cannot give away pistol rounds. If you're on the side of Reckoning, you're gonna be letting XTZ get to that double digit mark a lot more easier. And for the side of Reckoning, you do not want to go in for force buys either. Because when it comes to force buys on the map of Split, yes, they do work out. But when you have a triple duelist composition, you need to take a massive gamble, a very risky gamble, and then rush down from one of the sides, or you need to do a stag down onto one of these sides. This is how a triple duelist composition has to go in for a lot of the force buys. And on the map of Split, it's not that easy to do. Let's say if it was on Haven or Ascent, you can go in for the reads and you have a way of rotating down to one of the other sides. But if side control is already established, it's going to be really difficult to break back into a side because of the breach being present.
Right? At that point, like force buy really puts you in a sticky situation where you have to find that first pick. And if you don't, the breach, as soon as they know that you have force buys, they'll become a bit more cautious, wait for that breach utility and just flash, 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 find their way in, take that pocket of control. And even if you have that force buy, it's usually a Spectre versus Stinger because as the losers of the pistol round, you rarely have enough money to get that Spectre. So I'm expecting an eco to come out for Reckoning Esports. We'll have to see if they can use this eco to just cause as much damage as possible. Get that operator ready for Ion, because despite the flash that the anti-operator agent is present for XTZ in the breach, we saw how impactful Ion can be against all odds on the attacking side operator. Maybe if you can get that defensive side operator for him, make him that pseudo sentinel of sorts where he's essentially holding down one side, then they can find their advantage and push forward and try to find the comeback.
Seems as though XTZ, they're playing it smart. They're going up for a fake down onto that D side, but Whip, he had such a beautiful positioning of his own. He's gonna be able to find one. He's trying to mow down another, but the bulldog spray, it's not that easy to control Whip. I do understand that, but already the bodies are gonna be dropping on down, and the armies are gonna be trying to push down on the side, but side with a running gun. He's gonna be able to take out one. He takes out two. He takes out four. Side with a spray down, make sure that he gets all of the eco frags and shuts down the push coming out from the side of Reckoning. That was a really smart mid-hold coming out from them, but when the opponents are just ready, when you try the same strat that you tried in Ascent, it's not gonna work out the same time, especially on a different map.
I honestly want to know what Wimp was told after map 1, because I do believe that he was not on the same form in map 1 that he has been on map 2 and 3. Like, he's just firing on every single cylinder. He's rarely getting something wrong. Like, even the small thing of noticing the Omen hand go out when that smoke went out to get the swarm grenades through, clear that angle, then find a kill with the Stinger in basically a 1v3. Whip on point, combined with Sai. Like, Sai has been on point since map 1 itself, and we expect that from him being one of the leaders of the entire team to really push forward from this charge, and he's doing exactly that.
You should
now
run.
For XTZ Esports, this is essentially a free round. Only a couple of guns invested. The rest of them will carry forward the guns from the last round. So it's up to Reckoning Esports to make it through pushback, and Ayan will do exactly that. He picked up a kill for himself and now will stay back. The lockdown for XTZ didn't really give any sort of detainees, meaning now XTZ have to blindly go into B side, get the spike planted and wait for Reckoning to come on the retake. And Reckoning with the one agent advantage, they're in a very comfortable position to go for that retake.
They have all the advantages in their favor, but the post plants are really beautiful as well. Coming up from the side of Mercury, there's a 3-stack down here, this heaven angle, and here is where the real problems are about to start. Sami, he does have the paranoia in hand, opts to go in for the paranoia, goes in for the spray. He's gonna be able to find one, he's looking for another, he's gonna be able to find a second. He tries to go in for a gun, but Razor's gonna be able to shut him down, but Sai's already, he hears the noise, he hears the call outs. Gets a kill on a Razor, takes him out, and it's gonna be an 11-4 scoreline, ladies and gentlemen, for the side of the attackers. They're gonna be really happy moving forward because XTZ, they have all of the advantages in the world moving forward into their round. They have the money advantage, while for the side of Reckoning, they're gonna be forced down onto another eco or a force buy because you do not want to fight for overtime, especially on the map of Split, where making mistakes is very easy when it comes to positioning or when it comes to your team.
11-4. The buy round lost for Reckoning Esports. They're forced onto an eco, and we saw what happened when they chose to eco and play for overtime in map 2, and they're put into the same situation again. Rexy with first blood. XTZ hunting for match point in a phenomenal comeback in this series, losing map 1 13-6, fighting back, dominating map 2, and now dominating map 3. It's XTZ in the lead, and now Hush, he'll find a kill, take that garage control, get that orb in his favor, just set the stage for XTZ to go over to match point. They made a bunch of noise over at B, and a slow rotation over at A yields so much fruit as A side completely empty.
A side is gonna be empty in their favor, and they know for a fact XTZ, they're ready. They know what Reckoning love to do every single time. And with all of those initial picks in their favor, it seems as though Sai, he's gonna be able to find one. He does one of the other guy. But the thing is that who's gonna be coming out on top? The dodges. What is this? An anime battle happening down into the side of Vents. First of all, Sai. Okay, he dodges out the knives coming out from Ion. Beautiful movements by him. What's that? An anime battle or what? CA? Ion jumps in with the dash. And then Sai goes in for the reverse dash, straight into vents. Cloud first comes through. They jiggle left, they jiggle right. Sai has the automatic weapon. He comes out on top in that engagement. Someone clip it because that is an anime battle for the centuries.
I don't really watch much anime, but like it's definitely that. Like it's one of those like Naruto battles where like two guys just running all over the battlefield, trying to land shots at each other. But Sai, what are those reflexes, man? Being able to dash out in a perfect situation, because in that position, if you dash backward, you get into a wall. If you dash forward, I aren't able to get a free peek at you. If you dash right, you get into a wall. You have to dash left to go into the vents, and the perfect reactions from Sai to be able to get into the vents when he knows that he's thrown out the cloud burst already, gets the kill onto Ayan and secures match point in a flawless fashion for XTZ Esports. They have the Rolling Thunder ready and they're going in strong in this round. They've got the spike planted, the utility for Wimp set up. This is XTZ Esports fighting back, looking for a dominant win on map 3. Reckoning they're ready on the retake, but Sami and Rexy on the flank. Reckoning just funneled in onto P-Heaven with really nowhere to go. The running back popped already, but now Rexy, he's trying to push in with the help of Sami, and they're buying so much time. And even though Clouder, Rio, and Trist able to find a kill, Rexy and Sai, they buy so much time. Now the defuse is going down for Trist. It's gonna be up to Sai to delay it, and he lands the shots. He's gonna have to realize he's been wrong. Sai with a couple more. It was out this place. Not able to find the kill. The time running out. Rexy with the clutch, not able to find it. Ayan takes out his pistol and keeps Reckoning Esports alive. What was that round, Aggressive?
What was that round? There is no way that Reckoning should be able to win it, Sai. I do believe that was just a Russian roulette, the jet roulette, sorry, happening in that situation. He had perfect crosshair placement down on the body of the jet, but the knives did not connect on the right click, and here is where the real problems have been. Sai, he nearly pulled off the heroics in that situation, but he gets taken out immediately. Rexy should have been able to get that kill, but the classic coming in handy for Ayan to get that kill. My god, that was just a roller coaster of emotions, ladies and gentlemen. If this keeps on happening, like, as you stated before, at this point, like, Reckoning they need a miracle, or Sai just going in for solo plays like that.
Sai almost pulled it off, but props to be given to Ayan to have the temperament to pull out his pistol on time, because a second too late and the time was done. So Reckoning making sure that their life is still there in the tournament. They will have the buys. They've taken down Sai already in this round, and they're now going to look to push through on the basis of that. For Reckoning Esports, I really like that they've taken aim and control with the help of Ayan holding down with the operator, and mid control taken between Clouda and Razor. Basically knowing that all of with mid control taken and A denied, like XTZ, the only free area they have to go to is B, and that's exactly where you see Chris on that. Killjoy holding it down, the storm grenade set up. Now Harsh with the showstopper. He goes in, but a smart call made by Reckoning. They're gonna play for the retake.
They're gonna be playing in for the retake, and Hirsch, he has a beautiful position of his own, straight inside of the smoke. He's only gonna be able to find it. He gets one of the headshots. He's able to dodge out the shot of Ayan as well, but Clouda is gonna be able to answer back on Rexy to take him down. It's gonna be Sami getting this first kill on the Clouda, but gets traded out immediately. It's gonna be the showstopper coming out from the side of Razor. He knows exactly where Wimp is, and Wimp gets taken down immediately as the dreams are still alive, ladies and gentlemen, for the side of Reckoning, as they're able to take us to a 12-6 scoreline. As Rio, he has his game face on. The team is ready. The team is fired up to try and go in for this comeback. But CA, with 6 rounds still left to go to make it even on the scoreboard, they cannot make a single mistake, and they need to keep this form moving on forward. Punish the mistakes that are coming in through the side of XTZ and make no mistakes themselves. Go in for the double peaks. Always play off of information. Never go in for the ego peaks. All of these things need to be going on through their heads. Even if they have the momentum in their favor, they cannot let it get to their heads.
Now looking at the scorecard, you see the operator picked up for Sai and 22 kills for his name. The strategy being switched up. Sai realizes he needs to take down Ayan, and they're going for the AWP battle. Neither of the players missed, and I think maybe we're set in for another Naruto rivalry showdown once again. It's Reckoning trying to hold on to mid as XTZ take mid control, but Razor finding the first kill onto Wimp and the Molly setup, meaning XTZ, they just force the funnel in onto Wentz and try to find their way onto A Heaven. With Trist and Rio set up in A Heaven, just holding it down. This is going to be a very sticky situation for XTZ Esports. Now you can see Sami, he's on the backside. He has his spike, but he also has his ultimate. So if side control is taken, Sami could ult in. The flash set up as Hurst finds the first kill, and now Sami with the ult should make his way either onto A or B side. XTZ, they've done a lot of damage in A Heaven. They've taken control, but with Reckoning already here, I would expect Sami to try and go for that B side rather than pushing it on A. He's actually going to commit here, and that's going to be the downfall perhaps. Spike carrier down, 2v2 on the map.
2v2 on the map, but look at Hirsch's positioning. He's in the perfect place to cut off all of the rotations that could come out from the side of Reckoning. And if he's able to hold strong
left.
and if he finds this pick, it's going to be massive for them. We need to watch Hirsch if he's able to win at least, if he's able to get at least one kill. It's all that they need, ladies and gentlemen, to close out this map, because we do believe that Rexy should be able to clutch out in a 1 versus 1 scenario, but
10
Hirsch,
seconds left.
he's watching down the angle as the spike is about to go down, and Ion, if he checks this corner, is where the real fun is about to get in. The kill has been found. Ion does not connect with the knives, and now he's gonna be looking for one more. Clouda, he's sitting down in the back angle at this point. He's gonna take a little bit of damage with the rolling thunder coming out as well. Rexy, he's playing it safe. He's not giving any form of information away. He's playing for time in this scenario. He's playing near the back of sight. Doesn't know if Clouda was exactly affected. With the clock ticking down, Clouda, he's going to be running on straight from the sidelines. Clouda, beautiful place coming out from him. He's going to be going in for the half defuse, but Rexy, he has his 6 sets ready. Prozone fake didn't work in this situation as XTZ. They take it all away, and they take away the set, moving forward into the lower brackets and sending Reckoning Esports home.
Fake Rexy with the quick. Damn. XTZ Esports able to pick up the win 13-6 and move on to the lower bracket finals here. On point for XTZ Esports, like coming back from a 13-6 win, a loss in the first map, pulling back map 2 and map 3. So damn strong while doing so. It really speaks to the caliber of this team. Sai with 22 kills, 5 first bloods, and a 306 ACS, on fire throughout this series. I think he can comfortably say that he was one of the most important, if not the MVP of the entire series. So Sai, hats off to you. But to the entire team, Wimp was on form, Rexy, Sami, as well as Harsh, just on fire here today. But props to be given to Reckoning as well. And I think we have plenty to talk about. So let's quickly go over to the LG Ultragear match highlights. Really look at the entire series in retrospect and wonder what other things that Reckoning could look to push forward and improve on. And now for me, I think leave the strategies behind, because that's definitely one thing that I feel like Reckoning, they're a brilliant team with a really good synergy in between themselves, a really good understanding, as well as really good players with aim. But what I feel they're lacking is just the pure plethora of players that is necessary to make it to the top. You want a large quantity of different options that you can choose from, different agents that you can select to be able to match up against the top tier, and not being able to play things like the breach on split or try to counter or understand what the other team is doing. That does end up coming and biting you in the long term. So for Reckoning, I think it's all just a matter of time and experience. The more they play this game, the more they get used to themselves and the ages, I think they get better and better. For XTZ, like hats off. Like we were wondering where Sai would be able to find the balance between his IGL duties and his duelist, and he found them perfectly. And I'm excited to see more of them going into the lower bracket finals.
That is for sure, CA, and I do have to give it to the side of XTZ as well. And Sai, he pulled off rounds that he shouldn't have. Like, he had no business winning a lot of these rounds, and we can go to the map of Ascent, then to the map of Aben, and also to the map of Split. Like, he pulled off so many beautiful rounds, and his positioning was on point as well. And we can never forget the anime battle that happened, and Sai coming out on top in that engagement. All of those rounds were absolutely beautiful. And as you stated before, Reckoning, they need to try and fine-tune themselves. I do believe that their strongest maps are bind, and they now have a really good showing in Ascent as well. It seems as though their practice have paid off massively, but they need to work on their other maps. On the map of Split, I did see them lack, like, I do believe like they lack the, let's say, finesse that they had on the other maps when it comes to their executions, and they do need to work on it. They need to make themselves into a well-oiled machine. And XTZ, on the other hand, they always played in cohesion. They had that ability and utility usage set up properly for all of their team members, and the way they were able to execute was just way more efficient in comparison to the side of Reckoning, allowing them to get that one up advantage. And hopefully Reckoning, they do their homework and they come back even stronger for the following tournaments.
That's I'm sure that all of these teams they'll be back with a bang. But for now, it's XCZ moving on to that next stage. And believe it or not, this is not the end of the action we have for you guys today. Another series coming out really soon in an hour or so, around 8 p.m. So make sure you're there by hitting the subscribe button and getting your notifications on, so you're able to make sure you're in time for all the amazing action. Catch those anime battles and these just insane shots on time. Hit that notifications bell, hit the like button to show your support for the stream and for the tournament in general. And check out the links in the description below for some amazing discounts, a chance for you to upgrade your peripherals. We'll see you back with the next series at 8 p.m. with the LG Ultra Gear TEC Valorant Invitational Tournament really soon. Bye bye.